Flight Sports TV, man. That's my dude. I rolls with him.
You heard what the man said. It's Flight Sports TV.
Flight Sports TV, that's where it's at.
Flight Sports TV.
What's going on, people? It's Flight Sports TV. I appreciate y'all for checking with me. Y'all already know what it is. We back with another one of them things. I want to appreciate everybody for tuning in. You know, we got ourselves a hell of a topic tonight, man. We haven't really got a chance to discuss this from the Hornets' perspective. And I'm just so just delighted to get into that this evening. You know, how do the Charlotte Hornets fare? How do they match up with this new Cleveland Cavaliers situation that they done retooled out there? They done traded Colin Sexton, Lauri Markkanen, and a couple of picks, you know, and they got themselves Donovan Mitchell. Everybody thought Donovan Mitchell was headed to New York City, but like a thief in the night came the Cleveland Cavaliers. Like I was telling people, we was going to wake up one morning and Donovan Mitchell was going to be traded to such and such. But the only thing is, I would have hoped that it would have been the Charlotte Hornets. But nonetheless, you know, he's on Cleveland, which was one of the teams that was out there that was looming, you know. But now the Charlotte Hornets have even stiffer competition that they must deal with. The NBA is fastly approaching, and this is going to be one of the most exciting years yet. You know, definitely. Let me know if everybody excited for this upcoming season. Salute to Marquez. Salute to my man Basil Carpenter Jr. I see everybody in the building early. Man, this is going to be a good subject, man. The Cleveland Cavaliers, they look very hot even a season ago. They retooled their roster. You know, they picked up some pieces. You know, they drafted very high. Cleveland, they really retooled. You know, Kobe Altman, like I stated. I don't know if people were able to take a look at that roster. That I was saying that Kobe Altman has completely carved out. You know, ever since LeBron James's departure, everybody thought when LeBron James left that the whole Cleveland Cavaliers was going to be over and finished. You know, they dealt with that situation prior when LeBron left, and that was when they had Gibson, Mo Williams, and the crew. They were really stumbling, fumbling until they got their hands on Kyrie Irving, and then things looked on the up and up. And then you seen them getting about to draft even more high. They got Bennett, and then they got Wiggins, and then before you know it, you were able to trade for Kevin Love. So that's how much they accumulated, you know, to make some moves happen. But this guy Kobe Altman, man, give him credit. Look what he has done. He was aggressive enough. He traded for Karis LeVert. He traded for Donovan Mitchell. This guy is very aggressive, man. You know, and right now it's going to be crazy, you know, in the East. How do the Charlotte Hornets break through this situation that they got here? Somebody says the Cavs are 6 seed. Goddamn, you call them a 6 seed. I don't agree with that, you know, but I mean, it is what it is. If that's what you want to say, that's what you want to say. Let me take a look at this. Let's take a look at this Eastern Conference situation, because it was definitely wild, you know, to say the least, because Charlotte was holding down that 7th seed all season long. Let's keep it 100. Let's not act like we forgot. You know, somewhere down the line, Charlotte flipped and dropped all the way down the standings. But Cleveland, that was another team that looked hot, you know, and for some reason, it's like every team bottomed out. It's like everybody started off so hot, you know, everybody fell off late. The Cleveland Cavaliers actually finished right there with the Charlotte Hornets, you know, due to their playing situation. You know, they finished 44 and 38. They actually finished originally the 7th seed. the Cleveland Cavaliers. But for whatever reason in the playing, they lost both games. It was truly embarrassing, and then they finished 44 and 38, and the Charlotte Hornets finished 43 and 39, which got them to that 10th seed. So Charlotte definitely had their work cut out for them. So now when you're looking at, like I stated on so many times, man, I don't think people understand. Not only is the East top heavy, but we have a situation down here at the bottom where these teams are reloaded and retooled. Before we get into the most notables, look, watch out for the Indiana Pacers. They looking good. They heard all the chirping going on with Miles Turner. They got their guy Halliburton. He's there fully, in training camp, and they're going to be looking scary. They're very high on Halliburton. They think they're a playoff team. Look out for their new coach. I forgot Carlisle. Pardon me. Carlisle is going to be looking to be competitive out there. He didn't come to Indiana for no reason. The Washington Wizards, I'm very concerned about them in a good way. Because Bradley Beal just signed for Lord knows that we just told like 200 something. This dude maxed the hell out. He's going to be looking to be getting back. I like what they put around him, Porzingis, Rui, and a couple of other people. So teams like Charlotte, Cleveland, these are the teams. And then we get to the New York Knicks and the Hawks and things of that nature. Now we're talking about some teams that I feel should be all in the mix as well. And then you got some wild cards like Detroit, Orlando, things of that nature. So Charlotte is going to be wrapped in a tornado in this Eastern Conference, because I'm telling you, whoever fuck up early is going to be out the gate in a bad way. Nobody can afford to start the season slow. Nobody can afford to go on a 2-3 game losing streak in the first 10 to 15 games. I'm telling you, that will hurt your playoff positioning drastically. Somebody's going to get their feelings hurt in the Eastern Conference. We ain't even get out West yet. We just talking about the Eastern Conference. I'm here to tell you, all of these teams feel like they're a playoff team. Let's just go the heavyweights. See, I don't even like discussing the heavyweights. Let's go Miami, of course, Boston, Milwaukee, Philly, Toronto. That's when they get dicey. They feel like they're a playoff team. Chicago feels like they're a playoff team, even though I don't know where Chicago going to fare with the absence of Lonzo Ball. I don't know where they could fare from 1 through 8. They finished 6, and if we remember last year, and if it was any more games left, they would have been in the play-in. We get to Brooklyn. They feel like they really all back now. There's no issues. Everything seems to be copacetic. They're going to be looking to be on the attack. So I'm very concerned, about the Brooklyn Nets and things that they could put on the table, man. I'm telling you, the Eastern Conference. Do you understand where I'm headed with this, ladies and gentlemen? I'm giving y'all the rundown of the situation that the Charlotte Hornets are faced with, y'all. So then we get to the Atlanta Hawks. They just got DeJounte Murray. They feel like they're a playoff team. The Cleveland Cavaliers, they feel like they're a playoff team. Obviously, they got Donovan Mitchell. They feel like they should be a top 5 seed in the East. And then we get to the Charlotte Hornets, so, and then you got the New York Knicks, the Wizards. This is going to be crazy. It's going to be like survival of the fittest. It's only 8 spots if you want to count that 10 for the play-in or whatever you want to do with it. But the chances of the Charlotte Hornets making the postseason are going to be very hard, but it's going to be in a similar format as some of these other teams that's wrapped in this tornado that I'm trying to tell y'all that is going to be in the East. It's probably only going to be like 2 bad teams, horrible teams in the East. It's going to be, I probably think it's going to be the Pistons and the Magic. Those would probably be the only teams that might struggle. But if we talk to some Pistons fans, they feel like they're going to be competitive. They feel like Cade Cunningham going to be able to really put the pieces on the table and get that team over the hump to finally get a playoff berth in years. But I don't know. They got some pieces, but I don't know if it's enough just yet. They definitely got the grit and the grind. And shout out to Dwayne Casey. He's doing his thing. And then, like I said, Indiana, and then somebody's going to be like, it's going to be a team that you feel like should have been better than they should have been, but did not make it. Like, I like the Knicks, too. I want the Knicks to make the postseason. But they're another team that's going to be wrapped up in this tornado trying to get to that play-in, and there's going to be, I don't know who the hell is going to get there. I don't know what it's going to come down to, but it's going to be stacked, and it's going to be very competitive to break through this Eastern Conference. This is going to be wild. Salute to Rap Guy Reloaded with the $10 super chat. We appreciate you. He says, He says Pistons will be in the playing tournament next year. Okay, see, that's what I'm saying. You got people that feel like the Pistons. So that means it's even more deadlier, for the Charlotte Hornets. So I know people are high on Charlotte, including myself. I'm very high on the Charlotte Hornets. I want the Charlotte Hornets to make the postseason, but I know I'm not being stupid. You understand? And I even like the Knicks. Like I say, I'm a Knicks fan, but I'm not being stupid. I like the Chicago Bulls. But this thought that without Lonzo Ball, that this team is just going to somehow leapfrog all of these other teams and be a competitive team in the East. I mean, you can't be silly. You have to evaluate and see what these teams are put on the board. I mean, the Cleveland is no joke. When you got Garland, you talking about undersized. They some bucket getters, man. These dudes are gonna be putting points on the board. So we could talk all this undersized shit all you want. Donovan Mitchell is still very dominant. Darius Garland was growing into that, I would guess a superstar role, for the Cleveland Cavaliers. He became a star. He pretty much removed Colin Sexton. Colin Sexton couldn't get the job done. They moved in the way of my man Darius Garland, and that's all right. It is what it is. Salute to Marquez. He says, he said CW called Marquez a bandwagon. Isaiah Curry says he makes the Bulls fans look good. LOL. Basil Carpenter Jr. says Pistons got a bright future, but I don't see playing this year. It's going to take time. They're young. My opinion. That's facts. That's what I'm saying. The Pistons, they are a young team. Salute to Manny. It's going to be tough for them to make the postseason. I'm not going to sit up here and act like that's a lock. But I like what they're building. I think that's a team that could definitely become a playoff team, in the future. What we got to understand is, and this is what happens in the NBA, and this is what I hate, and a lot of these organizations, kind of mess around with these players and these teams, man. You got to let shit develop. Detroit has got a really good thing going. You don't see anybody wreaking havoc to try to break that whole situation up. See, if that was a New York team or LA team, you would have a superstar feast in a way, on all of those assets and everything that they have over there. But it's being that it's in Detroit, they're going to be able to cook up that whole team. So that team is going to grow into something. All of them dudes will develop and grow into something. That's why I like what Bagley did, even though Bagley didn't work out in Sacramento. Obviously, he's going to have that dark cloud over him because of the Luka Doncic situation, because he got drafted in that draft. But I think in Detroit, he's going to be able to develop and finally become the player that he's going to be in the NBA. It took some time to happen, but it's finally going to happen. So give this guy major credit. Shout out to the Pistons fans, man. I know people are high on them. Y'all got a team. I don't think y'all better than Indiana. Obviously, we ain't going to get into Washington, New York. I don't think y'all competing with them just yet, despite having an electrifying player in Cade Cunningham. I think those teams are just a little further along in their development. If Cade Cunningham turns into an all-star or something, then all bets are off. But we will be discussing a little bit of him. I mean, that kid's got immense talent. But it's going to be wild. Somebody call him the Rookie of the Year. Who's going to be the Rookie of the Year? Jaden? Okay. Salute to Isaiah Curry. He calling Jaden Ivey Rookie of the Year early. We're going to be evaluating that all season. Rap Guy Reloaded. Long as James Dolan, the owner, Knicks won't ever prosper. I mean, I hear a lot of that chirping going on. They got to stop with that. James Dolan ain't even interfering and shit like that. They just using that as a scapegoat because they're scared to play in New York City. Let's just keep it 100. These players are scared to play in New York. Let's cut the bullshit. Okay, the Knicks are right there on the cusp of being competitive. If a superstar was to come there, they could be, in the thick of things in the East. So let's stop. Come on. They playing games. With all that James Dolan shit. He ain't even really affecting shit. No, he's been out the limelight. But back to the Charlotte Hornets. New coach. We all know what to expect from my man Steve Clifford. Clearly an upgrade. I think anybody was an upgrade over James Borrego. A lot of people, killed Borrego a season ago. I think with the situation, obviously people wanted a top-notch elite, coach, to step in. in the place of Borrego. But we just gotta take what they gave him. This is an upgrade. And I think what happens with my man Clifford is those minutes and the way he was getting yanked in and out the lineup, I don't see that occurring anymore. I see definitely more consistency, more discipline. That's what a lot of people speaking on out of Charlotte right now, is the discipline. I'm not sure if Borrego had the team, locked in mentally, because this is a young team. So I'm not LaMelo's sake, but you got a lot of younger players on this basketball team. You got the Book Knights of the world, the Kai Joneses, the JT Thors. I mean, it gets younger. So you're gonna need a general, in some form. I think Borrego was a pushover. I think that when my man Clifford steps in the room, I think it's a different level of intensity than when if my man if Borrego comes in the room. I don't think he commanded as much seriousness, as my man is going to command this season. I think that's going to take the team over the hump. You already see guys locked in the gym. People are very high on PJ Washington. I'm hearing a lot of Charlotte Hornets fans. That's why I said it. A lot of people are talking about what they don't have. The Hornets are still clearly further along in their development than the Indiana Pacers, the Detroit Pistons. Me personally, I feel like the Hornets, like I stated, for the people that's joining in, they're going to be wrapped up in this tornado to get into the play-in. And who's to say the Hornets don't surprise? Because there's always a team, that surprises all of them. And gets off to a hot start and surprises teams. But I think they're going to be wrapped up in the situation with the Knicks. The Knicks did not get Donovan Mitchell, so they're going to be clearly scratching and clawing to get into the postseason, just like the Hornets. And then you got the Washington Wizards. I think they're going to be right there with the Wizards, scratching and clawing. And then, with some of these other teams, the Cavs and the Hawks. So I think the Hornets are right in the mix. I don't think they are just completely out of it. Let's see what happens with the situation with my man. I forgot my man's name. Miles Bridges. Pardon me. Let's see what they do with Miles Bridges, because that's going to be key. Getting that team over the hump. Because there's a lot of options that the Charlotte Hornets could head in, and we're gonna get into it. We're just getting started. Salute to everybody. Uncle Vern is in the building. Uncle Vern in the building. What's the deal, Unc?
Hey, what's good, Flight? Can you hear me?
Yeah, yes, sir. What's your thoughts on some of this conversation that we're having here tonight?
Yeah, but you got the last part right. That was the most important part. You got to see what Miles Bridges is gonna do, man. Without him being in the picture, man, that's gonna be like Zoe in Chicago. I'm just, man, it don't sound good. It don't look good for the Hornets if that's gonna be the case.
Yes, I totally agree with you. But how do the Charlotte Hornets fare? Are we gonna get into Bridges? You could actually include Bridges in this question and the whole situation you answer. How do the Charlotte Hornets fare now that the situation has happened in Cleveland? They retooled their roster. They got a star-studded bunch out there. They're looking to do damage. Where do the Hornets fare? Because they were close in the standings a season ago.
Right. Yeah. But man, that's a hard thing, man. But like I said before,
Tell it how it is. We might have to have some tough conversations.
The fact that Cleveland just made a step. They just came up past Charlotte, step forwards, man, a lot. You understand me? And like that, and even with Miles Bridges, they still couldn't do nothing. They couldn't do nothing with Cleveland that much anyway. You understand me? Because of all that height stuff in the front court.
Right.
But Charlotte ain't gonna be making too much of no waves this year. Flight, even with Miles Bridges, they ain't gonna make it too much of no nothing, man, because they didn't improve themselves. They had another team that didn't improve themselves.
Who didn't improve themselves? You said
Charlotte. How did Charlotte improve itself?
They didn't. It seemed like they stayed packed. But that's why I'm trying to tell you I think what's going to be the buzzsaw on all this is the development that these players are going to have. I think PJ Washington is a guy to look out for. I'm not saying that he's going to go to superstar status, but I believe that he's going to take another step. You already know what you're going to get from Rozier. He's going to be solid. Ain't nobody going to push him around. So They got some stuff over here. Melo's not out here completely by himself. Obviously, we would like for some reinforcements to come, but you got to deal with what you got. But I think that they're going to be in the mix with the New York Knicks, with the Wizards and shit like that, scratching and clawing to get into the postseason. I think the Hawks could be in the mix too, scratching and clawing. As much as you may think teams have gotten better, the East is fully loaded. The Brooklyn Nets fell all the way to the bottom last year, and look where they're at. Look what's gonna happen with them. You got a team that was, at the bottom that's gonna shoot all the way to the top. Next year they had no business down there. It's crazy.
Okay. Okay, I look at it like this with the Hornets. Last season, even the season before there, they was overachievers. They played real good, held up real good in their division and everything. But like I said, Flight, they ain't got no better, Flight. And really that, that holding the last stuff, they ain't got enough men to do that. It depends on what Gordon gonna do. You know what I'm saying? It's like, even with Gordon coming back, it still don't look good for him. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. It sounds good, but I don't see them being as good as they was last year. They just barely made the playoffs.
Yeah, speaking of Gordon Hayward, what they're gonna do with him? A lot of people are low on him. You don't think he could surprise some people? You don't think he's hearing all the chirping?
No, I don't think he's gonna come back and be a happy camper playing with Melo anyway. I think his days of playing good with Melo is over with. That's what I think.
Damn. Let's see what happens. I think he's gonna stick around, obviously. You just send him home. I don't think the Hornets in the situation where they could do stuff like that to players. They need all the hands they can get, on deck. They're not that kind of team that can pull shit like that or should.
Right.
As much as you don't like Gordon Hayward in the contract, you still could use his services because the Hornets are kind of thin on the talent side. So you could use whatever Gordon Hayward could provide.
Yeah, like you said, all hands on deck. Yeah, I agree.
Gordon Hayward could provide something, give them a little something, but I don't know what happened. He's definitely taken a regression. Nobody believed that he was going to go back to his days in Utah, but, he definitely didn't bounce back, even remotely close to his former self. But even when he was his former self, we got to remember, we got to step back like this guy was some powerhouse, even when he was healthy. That's another thing. I mean, he really wasn't, he wasn't top tier, even when he was healthy.
He was all right.
Yeah, he was all right. He was growing into something.
Right.
So all these high expectations you have of him, man, when you gonna get back to Utah? When you gonna get? I mean, what do you do in Utah? I mean, didn't they go to the playoffs one time? I forgot how many times. I would have to double check and when the times when he was there. Right. I don't think he infected winning as much as he should have.
Yeah. Matter of fact, I wouldn't be surprised if Charlotte be the last team he played for.
I don't know. I think Charlotte gonna try to unload him somewhere somehow. Yeah. I think somebody gonna take him.
But he already in his 30s, what, 32, 30, 34, something like that, up in that age.
Yeah, somebody gonna take him.
He's been around for a minute.
Somebody gonna take him because you always need. It could be a veteran team that can use his services. Not necessarily an older team. I mean, a younger team. He might fit good with the Lakers coming off the bench. Something like that.
Right.
What about if he went to the Clippers?
Oh yeah.
He came off the bench. See that now it's different. What if we go back to the Celtics? So I mean, I don't see that happening because I don't think they liked him out there. If we go to Miami, I think he wanted to go to Miami, so I could see that happening. But he came to Charlotte for the money. Could you blame him? I mean, Charlotte threw the big contract at him. Somebody had to take the money. So it was wild. They got their guy, but they envisioned more out of Gordon Hayward, but they obviously not getting that for whatever reason. But I mean, it is what it is.
Yep. Yeah. No, they definitely not getting it. Yeah. And also, Flight, before I get a chance, forget, man, congratulations on the show last night, man. It was a success. It was wonderful. I sat back and watched it all day from the beginning of this morning down to almost about an hour and a half ago. Flight, that was almost a 12. Why did you come in and not let it be a 12-hour show, Flight? You stopped it at 11 hours and 58 seconds. Why, Flight? Why did you stop it so soon, Flight?
I did. I mean, I would have to see it.
Yeah, you got more up, Jenny. It was almost an 8-hour flight. 12-hour flight. Yeah, flight 11 hours and 58 minutes, man. Yeah, it was good. Flight. I loved it, boy.
Yeah, it was only 5 more minutes. It would have been 12 hours.
Yeah, boy, I'm telling you, Flight. Yeah, keep up the good work, man. I'm telling you, man. I love this show. It was a whole lot of information came through yesterday. I took heed of it, and I know how a lot of people think about, especially when it comes down to Zoe. You talk about Zoe for 24 hours, that 12 hours. That's just half the day. Yeah, but yeah, Flight, it was nice. I loved it. I appreciate you, Flight.
Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely a holiday weekend.
Right.
I see everybody, it look like it's getting back to work time this week. But salute to everybody. Manny says that stream got me through work.
Yeah.
Y'all listen to it. That's what Manny said. Well, we appreciate that, man. That's what we're trying to do, man. We try to provide something, Definitely reciprocate the energy, because we're going to be trying to bring some more of that this season. We got a season fastly approaching, so we're looking to definitely do some things. So make sure y'all tuned in.
Yeah. Hey, another thing too, but while you mention it, I know I'm gonna miss him. I know because they're gonna come through one day when I'm not gonna be noticing, but I'm gonna try to be noticing all the time. Flights, I'm getting my notifications. I'm just getting them, but man, when Kid Austin come back through Flight, I'm trying to be front row and present that day because I know they're coming, and I just want to congratulate them and tell them, even if they're listening now, congratulate them, tell them they're the wonderful people that I've met in my life besides the Ball family. All of them are good, boy, Flight. I'm telling you, Flight, it's a wonderful feeling when you know good people and you recognize good people and you get them good vibes from them. I get good vibes from them, man. I get good vibes from his father. I get good vibes from Lonzo and them father. I get vibes from all of them. That's good, Flight. I like that.
Well, we got Marquez in the building. What's good, Marquez?
What's up, Marquez?
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
What's your thoughts? What's your thoughts on this topic? We're in here cooking up.
To be honest with you, the Hornets. I mean, I'm gonna be honest, Fight with my
Be
team,
honest. Let's
the
talk.
Bucks, and with the Bucks right now, and
I thought you was a Knicks fan.
I've been an official Bucks fan 2 strings ago.
Wow.
I couldn't take it no more, Flight. I couldn't deal with the mediocrity. It's not good for my health. I had to leave.
Okay.
I had to leave. I'm a Bucks fan now, but the Bucks are at the top of the division. With the 76ers and the Miami Heat. It's going to be...
What kind of shit is that?
What you mean?
Hey, Marquez, I understand because, like I said, I'm a Bucks fan too. I want to see the Bucks win the championship, but if it comes down to the Bucks playing against Lonzo, regardless of the Bulls, I care less about the Bulls. But if it comes down to playing Lonzo, hey, I'm a Lonzo Ball fan. I want Lonzo to win championships. You understand me, Marquez? I care less about the Bulls.
I understand, Uncle Vern.
Yeah.
I'm a Bucks fan. I got to root for my team. I can't. Yeah. I'm a loyal, diehard fan of the Bucks. I can't do it.
Yeah, I want your team to win as long as they playing against mine. So it's all right.
Well, Uncle Vern, they're gonna have to. Uncle Vern, they're gonna have to eventually play us.
Oh yeah, I know. It did it last time. What happened last time? I remember that.
And we gentlemen sweep them last time. But we're gonna move on. We're gonna move on there. I don't see this Hornets team making the playoffs.
Yeah, me neither.
I just don't see it. Despite what I believe about my old team, the Knicks are still better than the Hornets. The Wizards are still better than the Hornets. The Cavaliers are now way better than the Hornets. Toronto's better than the Hornets. What else?
The Magic better than them.
The Magic is better than them. The Pistons is better than them. I mean, the only team they're really better than is Indiana, because even Atlanta's better than them. So when all the like the small teams, like the hard outs, even all the hard outs are tough to beat, you know, that's when it's gonna be one team who's talented, who's a good young team that just won't make it. And I think it's gonna be the Charlotte Hornets.
Yeah. And I don't like the way Charlotte playing Jello neither.
I mean,
Yes.
It's about time that Charlotte needs to get. It's about time that Charlotte needs to, put the young guys that they said they've developed over the years in G League.
They ain't no good. You can't put them on the court. They ain't no good.
But again, Uncle
really,
Vern, if they're not good,
to be honest with you,
why
they
did
ain't
you draft them?
to be out. Well, hold on for a minute. To be honest with you, the players that the Charlotte got, you put them even down for the start, people of the start five, they ain't too much better than G League players. They just know how to play the game. They just experienced and getting game time experience. That's all. But they ain't really. Terry Rozier, yeah. And he clutch to a certain extent. He clutch. He'll come through. You understand me? But it ain't too many others that come through like that, man.
Vern,
yeah, go ahead.
Uncle Vern, to be honest with you, you got Terry. That team's just not good enough.
Already know. That's no.
They're good. If this team was in the Western Conference Finals, Uncle Vern, if this team was in the West, this team could hold their own in the West. But it's the East, and it's way more. The East is always way more competitive every year. You know what I mean? The East literally just got better this year. So when the East gets better, if you didn't make no move,
You said what? Say that again.
What did he do? Cut out?
That's what it sounded like. He said the East, if you didn't make no, it sounded like what he was about to say was if you didn't make no moves.
Yeah, if they didn't make no moves, they ain't gonna get no better. That's simple.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's simple.
Especially in this Eastern Conference, man, deadly.
Yeah. Yeah, Charlotte ain't gonna I don't know what to tell you about Charlotte. Then, like you said, we have to find out what's gonna be happening with that Miles Bridges situation. It don't look too good for that team.
Right, it don't.
Yeah, well, that's all right. But that's all right.
But it's not over though.
I ain't gonna lose all hope because I know Melo gonna come through like a champion fight. I'm telling you, boy, the individually wise man fight, they got it going on. So like I said, I don't lose no faith or no hope in I don't put too much faith and hope in teams like that. But it's like the players I'll be trying to get with. I recognize the players' fight. I'm sorry. I guess I'm just like that. I can care less about the organization. I know Michael Jordan trying to play 50-50 basketball so he can get rich doing it. I know how that go. And I know, you know what I'm saying? I don't get on with them like that.
You know how
the organizations. No, hey, look like I told you before a million times, look what the Bulls did where they had Michael Jordan, Phil Jackson, Scottie Pippen, and the rest of them all up there. They said, look here, we don't need no Phil Jackson. And if anybody want to walk with them, go ahead on. What the team do? Almost all of them walk. You do the math, like 6 championships in a row. Now all of a sudden, they want to make coach changes. I'm telling you, stupid organization.
Hey, Uncle Vern,
yeah.
They've won the last decade, so
who?
The Bulls, they've won.
They ain't won right. They ain't won the last decade. You right? They show late, and they ain't gonna be well up. They got Zoe, hey boy, they over there. My money on.
I love Zoe to death, but also you gotta look at it from like a competition standpoint. You know what I mean? I want, if it's possible, I want the Bucks to have the easiest way to get to the championship. You know what I'm saying, Uncle Vern? Right?
You said the Bucks, right? I'm talking about the Bulls, but then the Bucks can handle their own business because they got Giannis. Giannis the best player in the NBA, B. So I mean, if you got the best player in the NBA,
Uncle Vern, but the media and the fans of the league don't say that. They don't believe that.
They don't believe Giannis is the best player in the NBA.
They don't believe it. They say
who do they believe is the best player in the NBA?
Kevin Durant. They're still
who do you? Matter of fact, I'm gonna say okay now. Who do you believe is the best player in the NBA?
I'm a Bucks fan, of course. Giannis is the most dominant big man I've ever seen play the game.
Right, I hear you. Yeah. Yeah, but then you can't take away from KD too. Look at the last performance, but when the Bucks played against 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 the Knicks.
Okay, but what's your point? I mean, Giannis,
Giannis
but
came out on top. Giannis came out on top like that because they had the better team. I don't know if Giannis was a better player than KD at that time because man, KD turned on like Giannis turned on. So I
I
couldn't even.
mean, but hey, listen, Giannis' team is built around Giannis, and that
Yeah,
team is built to win, and that's the problem. Giannis don't have a diva mentality like all these superstars that everybody loves so much.
right,
But because he don't have that diva mentality, that's
right,
why they root against him. But guess
right.
what? Giannis went farther again last season, more than the two superstars in Brooklyn that got swept, but nobody says nothing about it.
Yeah, but I understand this though. That thing about because I had to agree with you at first. I got to agree with some people sometimes when they say KD is better than Giannis, and I have to look at that too. Because an individual player like KD is, he can fit into any team and be very successful. Giannis have, like you said, Giannis they have to build a team around Giannis to make him that much more better, efficient and everything. But KD, all you got to do is just plug him in and go to work. You
I
understand me?
mean,
That's that's a skill too.
that is true, Uncle Vern, but I'm just being I don't want to try to go against you, OG, but we could argue that when KD went to the Warriors, that team was built around KD to succeed. I mean, he damn near had everything on the Warriors team. What has KD done since he left the Warriors? How many championships has he won?
Well, because look at that
I mean,
fiasco
KD
out there.
is better at
Look,
Giannis when it comes to shooting and everything, but
that
Giannis is the better defender. He's the better everything,
right with that
which
fiasco,
matters.
that fiasco out there that was going on out there in Brooklyn was a joke. You understand me? You know, half the time Kyrie was going through. You got a bunch of idiots, man. But that don't take away from KD's game, though. His game, I'm talking about his on the court game. You got to recognize, man. If a lot of people do
Oh
say
no,
if a
I
lot of
mean,
people do, if a lot of people do say he's that guy, believe me, he's that guy. Sometimes Kyrie try to sit up there and act like he
I
that
know
guy,
KD's that guy.
but he
I
ain't.
know KD's that guy. I'm just saying this. I just don't think, when it comes down to it, that the team, the Nets are good on paper, right, Uncle Vern? But the
Yeah,
Nets will find a way, the Clippers, to screw themselves over.
I agree because of that fool Kyrie, or if it ain't Kyrie, is what's
Or
his name, Hard. I'll tell you.
Harden's not there, Harden's not there, And
But I'm talking about he.
KD just KD just forced freaking the organization to choose between him or Steve Nash.
Well, that's the business part of it. I understand that. That's the business part of it. That's all it is. That's the business. That's the business part. And he got enough power. He got enough power to pull his weight around like that. He almost was successful. If he was actually maybe if he wanted one head to go instead of two heads, he probably would have been successful. They probably would have got rid of Steve Nash if he would have asked for too much.
But why offer Steve Nash the position to begin with if you knew that he was just going to be the placeholder? Why even
He's
waste
not.
Nash's time and your time being that placeholder? You know,
He's
Okay,
not. He's not.
okay.
what's up, Marvin? I know he's not the placeholder, but how the
That's what
fans
that's
want
what
him,
that's what
they want him to
no, let me
be
say
the,
this.
the
That's
placeholder,
what fans labeled him as. A placeholder.
right?
He's not.
You know me, Marvin. I can't stand Brooklyn one way or another. I hope they plummet this year. You know what I mean? But
Fans the ones who came up and said Katie and Kyrie said they can coach the team themselves. Ain't nobody heard that. Those are
I mean,
reports. Wait, those are reports. How much you
I
Right,
mean,
believe
they've
them?
been
so
trying to
yeah,
do that the last 2 years. They've been trying
yeah,
to do it the last 2 years. They didn't acting Dickinson. They've been trying to do that the last 2 years.
yeah,
Reports.
yeah.
All I'm gonna say is this:
You know.
you want to keep believing in reports, then Kyrie coming to LA.
Hey, listen,
Hey,
Marvin,
hey,
my
hey,
team is okay.
hey,
My team is
hey,
great.
my quest, hold on for a minute. Hey, Bobby, you right. I agree with you now, and I agree with you said that the other day too about the reports that everybody doing this and saying that. When you made that statement yesterday, and you broke it down like it really is. You right. All those things wasn't number reports, and then everything that came through, wasn't nobody reported on it, boy. I'm telling you, Bobby, you a freaking genius. I'm
Yeah,
telling you.
I tell Marquez if he didn't hear me yesterday. If you don't hear something, then be afraid. If you do hear something,
Hey,
barbecue, because ain't shit gonna happen.
Marvin, hey, Marvin, listen. I know about the rumors. I know I can't take these rumors seriously.
Yeah,
You know what
I
I'm
mean,
saying?
I'm not saying
So
that.
it's a good day. Though.
I'm not saying everything that these guys
Hey,
put out
Marvin, you
is
like my
false.
logo picture? You like my logo picture?
Is that where is that? Oh God, I just looked at it.
That's right. I done did multiple. I went after our stream. I went home last night and I studied all the
Wow,
history of the Milwaukee Bucks,
you could have just
all the way
called.
down to the big old
You
Oscar
could have just called.
Robinson,
You
all the
could have
way
just
down to
called.
Kareem, Sidney
You could have just
Moncrief.
called. You could have just called Uncle Vern on me. I can tell you everything about it.
Don't
For real.
matter, Marvin. I want to get out the mud my way. So can't nobody tell me I don't know my Milwaukee Bucks history. I'm still
All right,
got a lot of homework to do, but I'm ready to go.
all right, but I ain't mad at you. I know you. I know one thing. You ought to be damn happy you ain't a Knicks fan no more. They going crazy.
I know, right?
I
Uh,
mean, really going crazy.
but hey, at least the Knicks team is better than the Hornets. I will say that. At least that Knicks team is better than the Hornets. I will give them that. And Marvin, they can call me bandwagon all they want to in the comment section. Because guess what? Until you deal with mediocrity, how I dealt with mediocrity the last 20 years, then you'll want to leave too.
No, what I'm tripping out on is this. They actually saying now they're gonna get SGA, and they think they're gonna get him for one draft pick.
You see how delusional they are? SGA. But you remember, Marvin, I said I wanted SGA when I was a fan, and I went to the multiple Knicks streams, and they told me, guess what? They told me it was unrealistic. Okay. You see, the fan
Okay.
base put their own foot in their mouth, not the
Yeah, okay.
organization. It's the fan base.
What well just a quick question to you. What would it take to get SGA on the Knicks?
Why would I care?
No, I say
But
what would it take? What would it take to get
if I was
SGA
the
on the
Thunder,
Knicks?
I would fleece the New York Knicks. I would get
Well, why
5 or 6 draft picks
yes, yeah. So
and
why don't
maybe
the rest of the why don't the rest of the Knicks fans realize that's what's going to happen?
because they're delusional. If you couldn't get Donovan Mitchell for the asking price that Danny Ainge want, what makes you think they're gonna give up SGA for one
But
draft
Lord,
pick?
yeah,
You offer two, you couldn't get it done. But what makes you think they're gonna give you? We gonna give it for you gonna get it from just one and get away with it
they offered three.
for who? SGA,
No, for Donovan.
and they couldn't get it right. Come on, man. See, the
It's
problem
gonna
with New
happen.
York is they want to play this aggressive hardball game with the picks, knowing they can't draft well. It's dumb. Okay. I mean, it wasn't going to move the needle for him anyway. Getting Donovan Mitchell. I mean, it was a
No,
great move.
he was a piece. You got
It was
more
a
pieces
piece,
to get. You got to start somewhere.
but you have to exactly, Marvin. You have to start somewhere. You got to start. If you're going to go on a rebuild, Marvin, you got to rebuild. You can't try to be good and try to get free agents knowing
All
you're
right,
a rebuild team. That's
I want
horrible.
to ask you one more question about the Knicks, and we can go back to the Bulls. Do you
But we're
think
going.
Tom Thibodeau? Do you think Tom Thibodeau is going to play the young kids?
I don't.
Absolutely not.
Nope,
I
he's
have
not.
no faith because if those kids can't follow his system, they're gonna be like Cam Reddish, there but not be seen.
Yep. And then if they don't play the young kids now after not getting Donovan Mitchell, what does that mean?
That means that they should have just tried to have the team anyway because you're not playing them. So what was the point of keeping the young players if you wasn't going to play them to begin with? That's a conundrum, ain't it, Marvin? I'm so happy I don't have to deal with that heartache and having to explain that to other fans.
I'm not even talking about it no more. I'm more concerned with the Bulls. I'm just happy we are a well-oiled machine trying to run our business the right way.
Sir, right. I'm more concerned with the Bucks too. We are a well-run franchise. We got this kid. Mark my words. Mark my words, Marvin. That kid, Marshawn Kemp, is the truth. Mark my words. He will be up there as a rookie of the year candidate. He's very good.
Marco, as you breaking up again, brother.
Hey, Marvin, can you hear me?
No, I'm not.
Yeah, I can hear you, Vern.
We can hear you.
Yeah, talk.
Go ahead, Vern. What you got?
Hey, Marvin, look here. What
Go
you
ahead,
still gonna do? Chicago and what you say? Chicago and Utah today?
Yeah, Chicago, Utah, and Indiana. I'm just gonna wait on a couple more guys to come on the panel.
All right, I'll try to stick around and make sure.
Yeah, you wasn't on the panel last night.
No, but I watched it. I went back and watched it today. Hey, I was telling Flight today. Look here, congratulations, Marvin. You carried the helm like a champion, Marvin. You brought it through. I told Flight.
Marvin was getting it on last night, man.
Yeah,
that was a long ass stream. Marvin hung out.
Yeah, Marvin was marvelous.
Yeah, we usually don't do long streams like that. We used to do that shit all the time.
All the time. We used to go on 7, 8, 9-hour flights and stuff like that. We only went on the 11-hour flight probably about 2 or 3 times in the existence of Flight Sports TV. But look here, Marvin, we almost made it to 12 hours. We ever do a 12-hour show flight?
Yeah, I think that was 12 hours last night. That was a long
time. Yeah, that was 12 hours. That was like 11 hours and 55 minutes, 12 hours.
Yeah,
that was 12 hours. Can y'all hear me better? Y'all can hear me better now, right?
Yeah, you sound a whole.
Yeah.
Yeah, you came out of the closet. You came completely out of the closet. You young man.
Yeah, man.
Okay.
I mean, we had enough. Okay. But the whole deal was that we had enough to talk about, and we didn't finish. How about that?
Yeah.
Right.
Even Jessica hung with us for a while. She didn't come on the panel. Salute to Jessica.
But she was there in the comment section with us. CWD Best is still aggravating to me. He thinking these Knicks gonna do something this year, but we'll leave it alone.
No, you know he a Brooklyn. He's a Brooklyn fan.
What's that supposed to mean to me? I hate Brooklyn.
Well, he ain't no Knicks fan.
No, I'm a Bucks fan, and I still hate Brooklyn.
Go ahead, Uncle Vern.
Hey, why you say Jessica's mad at? Why you say Jessica mad at Dex?
No, I didn't say that.
Oh, I thought that's why she ain't been on the show lately.
No, I didn't say that. No, I said she hung out in the chat. She didn't come on the panel, but she was in the chat.
Right.
No, but you said yesterday you had said that she was upset with Dex. You asked Dex the question, did he run her off?
Oh, okay. Because Dex be aggravating, and she was mad at him. Dex just always aggravating, and you know how you do.
Right.
Oh, okay. Oh, yo, I understand. I thought maybe I had missed something.
No, you good. You good.
Dex, just you know how Dex is. He'll be on here tonight, probably.
Yeah.
Probably having some trauma-filled episodes, playing this trauma-filled music tonight. So get your popcorn ready, people. Get your popcorn ready.
Unstoppable. How the Hornets fare too? I want to get into that. I don't think we got Marvin's perspective on that.
Right.
Oh, what's that again, guys?
How do the Hornets fare in the East after the Donovan Mitchell trade?
Wow. Well, I said like this, Flight. Cleveland got better. Charlotte stayed the same. Where should we put them? I don't know, man. I
13th.
guess, I guess you know, I guess Charlotte just decided that they're gonna run it with what they got. I mean, they very well could make a move, but as far as where how they fare in the standings, oh man, I think every team above them at least added one player, and they didn't. So except Miami, but I don't still see them catching up with Miami just yet. I mean, they made the play in last year. They was not the 10 seed, were they? They were like the seventh or eighth seed or the ninth seed. I can't remember.
They were the 10th seed.
Wow. So they were right on the edge last year.
I think no, I think so. Yeah, we'll have to double check, but I think so.
Yeah, I know they wasn't the seventh or the eighth. I think Brooklyn ended up getting that one of those top seeds out of there. Yeah, that's right. Atlanta and Brooklyn had the top two seeds, and Charlotte had the bottom seed with Cleveland. No,
Yeah.
Cleveland was up. No, it was Cleveland. Cleveland was right behind the Bulls. So it was Cleveland and Brooklyn, and then Charlotte, and Atlanta and Charlotte.
Mm-hmm.
So if you think about the teams I just mentioned, Cleveland, Brooklyn, and Atlanta, all three of those teams added a player or two, and Charlotte didn't. So what you have to go to now is the teams that were below them, which are the Knicks, Washington, Orlando.
Mm.
Can one of those guys overtake them? Now,
Yep.
I would say this to Marquez. I think
Mm-hmm.
the Knicks might overtake them because the Knicks, even though they didn't pick up anybody else, picking up Brunson, they won. The Knicks won what, 33 games last year?
Day one, I think 39, 35, around that.
Yeah, they were what, like 3 or 4 games behind Charlotte, right?
They won 37 games.
37. So
Mm-hmm.
that right there is going to be a good little battle between those two. I think I really can't call that one though.
But
Uh,
the Hornets. I mean, I ain't gonna sit here and say the Knicks don't got a good little roster. They do, but it's
to get
also
in the
like,
play-in. Yeah, to get in the play in there. I mean, if
but not
39
every year you should be. Not every year, Marv. You should be focused on trying to get into the play-in. The play-in is
well,
not respected as a play-in spot, as a
no,
playoff
no, what
spot.
I'm saying. No, what I'm saying is this: if that's your ceiling, then you play to your ceiling. If you get in, you play to try to get further. You just, you don't want to
That
intentionally lose and not get in the play in. So you do
I
what you can to
mean,
get in, you know?
but see, when you're on a team who's run with a good organization, you don't have to worry about that. You just know what the team is, who they are, and you know they're ready they're ready to go into war with anybody.
I think you look at those two teams and you can say that Charlotte actually has a direction, and we can't tell the direction that the Knicks are going in. At least Charlotte can realize that they're ready to try to rebuild, I do believe. Is that true to the Knicks? I don't know.
Yeah, the Knicks still got a lot of it's a lot of
Well, it's a lot of ifs on the Knicks, man. You can't tell. I just,
RJ Barrett. I
yeah.
mean, he's a good
Well,
player, but
I'm not just that. I mean the front office. What signals are they giving you? They say they want to rebuild, but they dangle RJ Barrett, Obi Toppin, and Mitchell Robinson on the trade scenario. When it don't happen, they come back and say they're the pillars of the organization. Who can you
right.
believe out there, man? Who the hell can you believe out there? And then, like I say, I don't like to say much about reports, but from what I heard in the on one of the panels today, is that the Knicks are still not through trying to pick up somebody. So I
I
don't know,
mean,
man.
good luck. I mean, good luck, but they're going to have to give up half their picks and going to have to trade some of the young guys away because they're not going to expect to get the stars that they want for little stuff that they offer. That's just not how it works.
Well, first they got to look at the free agent market for next year and the years to come. Next year is not very thick. You don't have a whole lot of
The
great.
draft next year is actually better than free agency is going to be.
But one thing that's good about free agency is that you can get a player without losing anybody on your team. So you can build through free
Yeah,
agency
you
if you got cap
can.
space. If you got cap space.
Right, but also Marvin, there's not. I mean, come on,
Well,
Marvin.
I said that to say this. They just signed RJ. They just signed Mitchell Robinson, and they just signed Brunson. Do they have cap space?
Okay. Hmm. I stopped paying attention to him after I left. So me personally, I don't know.
Yeah.
You know.
Now in Charlotte's case, all they need to do is get contracts to fall off. Now I tell you, we'll be able to find out Charlotte's direction when they decide on Montrezl Harrell. Supposedly his charges were dropped down to misdemeanors, so I'm pretty sure somebody's going to be ready to sign him. Now, will Charlotte re-sign him? That'll give us their direction.
No, I don't see him sign. I don't see them signing Montrezl Harrell back.
I don't see no reason in signing him if you're talking about rebuilding. Wouldn't be smart. Charlotte's actually in a good position. They're going to have quite a bit of money if they can play this season out without picking up somebody else. At the end of this season, they're going to have some good money. And I don't
Eventually, they're
know.
gonna have to get rid of Gordon Hayward. They're gonna have to get rid of
Yeah,
that Gordon Hayward contract.
yeah. But I don't know if it's true, and I want to ask you guys. Do you guys think Melo will draw another free agent to Charlotte?
Yes, yes.
What you say, Uncle Brian? If you there.
I think it's a huge possibility. I think LaMelo is the kind of player that could kind of, define all the odds. A lot of people may view Charlotte as why the hell would any free agents go there? It's not a destination. I obviously he's got the deck stacked against him being out of Charlotte, but I think if there's any player that could do it, I think it's him. But he's going to need help from the organization. Not only LaMelo could be the star to stand out to make it happen, but the organization has to show and prove as well. We've seen a lot of stars in various cities, but if the organization is not intact, then people ain't gonna move.
Yeah. I was just reading the chat and there's mixed reactions in that Rap God says he don't think that he thinks Miles Bridges won't be back. Unstoppable with his crazy ass talking about the Bulls need to try to get Montrezl Harrell. We can't get him, man. And Rap God also writes he won't draw any free agents, meaning Melo. I don't know about that one, Rap God. I'm up in the air on that. That's why I asked you guys on that one, Flight and Marquez, because I just don't know, man. That destination is not cute. It's not attractive to a lot of free agents. And I mean, who's to say? Is Melo gonna stay?
Mm-hmm.
We don't know that.
I mean, we just saw Donovan, who's 25 years old, basically got moved. I mean, if the team is going into a rebuild situation, right, Marvin? You know,
Now,
you
hold
have
on
to
now.
expect that.
But listen, we've seen a lot of organizations when it's time when it was last year on the deal, they make a knee jerk reaction move. So let's see what Charlotte do. They know they got to do something.
Yeah, and that's what I was getting at. That's what I was getting at. And Melo is a hell of a player. If he wasn't in Charlotte, wherever else he would be, he would draw. I think he would draw.
Could you imagine if he became available?
Yeah, well, he can make himself available. Flight. It's gonna cost him a little bit, but I don't know. I mean,
it'll be a frenzy. How many teams you think have put a bid
in?
in?
Every team in the NBA be after him, but I don't see that in
Who
him.
you think had the best chance?
And I know Marquez
I
wants to
rest
hear
my
this.
case.
It's gonna be the Knicks.
I mean, Melo don't move the needle for him.
I don't
They
want to
still got
see
Tom Thibodeau. I mean, they're gonna give Melo and somebody else.
That's a long. Now we just hoping and wishing. That's a huge long shot. What we saying? That's a long shot, though.
Right.
Hey, Flight, I can see.
We're just entertaining.
Flight putting out.
I can see Michael.
Flight putting out a possibles.
Yes.
He's putting out an possibles. Okay.
Hold on, Marquez. Go ahead, Unc.
I can see Michael Jordan trading Melo.
Trading him?
Yeah, getting rid of him for somebody nicer.
Who is nicer?
He don't know what he got.
He better well open his damn eyes.
Nah, Michael Jordan's too much of an egotistical. I'm gonna shut up.
I don't know about that trade scenario for Melo though. I don't. That would be way down the line. I don't know.
You straight, Marvin? You straight?
Yeah, I mean, I just don't see that being realistic.
To trade
It would be
your all-star point guard for nothing. Yeah.
Rap God writes, Michael Jordan don't care about LaMelo. I think behind the scenes he does, Rap God. I think he really does.
And this is what I'm
That's
talking about, Marvin. The delusion.
well, I mean, he know what a cash cow is, and he know it ain't nothing else on that team but Melo that's going to draw fans to that arena.
You think he
So
just got LaMelo just for cash?
no,
I
Well, no,
think so.
Lamelo fell into their goddamn lie. You know,
yep,
that's what
he felt
happened
it
in
too.
the draft. They just picked the
Yeah,
best player available. That was easy. But you
and
know,
they have
Jordan could have been an idiot and said, you know, we're gonna pass on him. I think it was word that Jordan okayed that. You know, I think Jordan said, yeah, take Melo. You know, but he could have
yep,
been like, nah, we don't want to deal with all of this. We're gonna pass on him. As Golden State. You know, they ended up with Wiseman. You know, so you know, people make mistakes now.
yeah. But him making the second mistake of trading him or getting rid of him, I don't know if that's in the cards.
Mm-mm.
I mean, it just wouldn't be a real smart thing to do. He might not have no choice though. Melo might want to leave.
Right.
And if he does, you talking about a frenzy for him. Look out.
Right. The whole league gonna want him.
I mean, just picture the teams around the league that he'll fit on. You can't. He won't miss not one of them.
Mm-mm. He could literally fit on every
He'll fit on
single one of them.
every team, even the young teams. He will fit on every team in the NBA and make a difference. Move
Mm-hmm.
and move the needle, especially on contending teams.
Right.
Can you picture him on Miami?
Who Melo?
Yeah.
I,
Mm-hmm.
s- I don't know.
Did you picture him on Milwaukee
No, we ain't
throwing
gonna go
lobs
that
to
far.
Giannis?
We ain't gonna go that far. And he fit perfect on Milwaukee too.
Mm-hmm.
They needed
Mm-hmm.
two. They needed two guard.
Yep. Sure enough, do. That's why I said it,
He
Marvin.
he fit good on the Lakers. He fit good.
Mm-hmm.
He fit good everywhere.
The boy can play anywhere in the cities.
Quiet as it kept, he fits good on the Knicks.
Yeah,
Well,
boo.
who fits good on the Knicks?
LaMelo.
I mean, Lamelo
Melo.
gonna fit good anywhere. He's a point guard. He's gonna be the engine. You
He
know,
don't even have
so
to play point. He can play the
so
two.
could you imagine if he was on Minnesota and he had without if he took off what's the name? I know he's a good player. I forgot his name already. What Edwards, my fault.
Oh,
If you had
Edwards.
Melo there and you had the two centers there, that'd be deadly.
Yeah, man.
You know, it's like
And
every team is retooled except for Melo's team. Like, look at them; they ready to win. You know,
yeah.
so
Right.
it's crazy. They got to get Melo, got to get that chance too, like the rest of them.
Can you picture him going to the Clippers instead of John
Ooh,
Wall?
ooh.
Ooh, stop it.
Man, they'd have been cold blooded.
Go. Hoo-hoo.
That's what I'm telling you. Melo fit everywhere, man. Fit on
You
Washington.
really do.
Fit on he don't fit on Cleveland now because Donovan is there. He fit on the
Mm-hmm.
Bulls.
Oh
He
man, I
even
would
fit
love it.
on
I wanted Melo to go to the Knicks originally. I don't know why
yeah.
the Knicks didn't trade up. I don't know if they had the pieces or nobody was going to take the deal. Man. The Knicks should have
Another
did
good
anything they could get their hands on to get him. We
I
can't
tell you
never.
another good fit would be Boston.
That's if
Mm.
all and mind this is if all hell break loose. Nothing is confirmed. You know, this
Right.
just
Yeah,
you
We're
know this
speculating. We're
right,
speculating.
yeah, right.
that's
Yeah, we just talking. You know, we just
yeah,
politicking
that's why I
right
say
now.
he would. Every time before I say it, I say he would. He would. He's not there yet.
Right. Because certain people in the comment section takes our comments seriously when we're speculating.
Yeah, it should have been Eyewitness News.
Man, please.
Breaking news, okay? Flight Sports TV said Lamelo Ball will fit anywhere on any team. Watch it break the internet.
I mean, that could be said, just as long as they don't say that we said he's going to this team.
Right. Then they can kick rocks respectfully.
Doug said Melo headed to LA. I could definitely see that. I know
Right.
Nick.
Just not the Lakers.
Let's just hypothetically speaking. Let's say the situation like that did happen. Let me tell you something right now. This is the player the Knicks put all the chips on the table for. The shit that was pulling for Donovan Mitchell. Let me tell you something. When Donovan Mitchell was talking, let me tell you something. Yeah, the Knicks gonna put the house on the line. I'm telling you. No team will outbid New York. I'm telling you.
Like,
so
will they botch that? Will they botch that one up too, Fly?
You give up everything. Whatever they want, you give it up.
Well, they don't want to give up quickly, so he probably stopped the deal. How about that?
Listen, you ask them.
Y'all are crazy.
You want something else? How many picks? Let's work out. Let's work it out.
Yeah, Flight. They're gonna give him 2 picks to get Melo.
All right, that's a good question, man. Is Melo better than Donovan Mitchell?
Yes.
Yes, and I say the upside. The upside is tremendous. I think Donovan Mitchell, he's still young, but he's more of a finished product. He's a scorer. Donovan Mitchell's not an assist guy. He's not a guy that could be the engine of the offense. It's just a different kind of player. But he's a great player.
The difference between the two?
Right.
The difference between the two players is very clear. You can start an organization with Melo.
Yes.
I don't think you can do it with Donovan.
Well, we've seen it. We've seen them do that. When they try to do that bullshit.
That's what Charlotte should do, but I don't know if that's they.
They're too incompetent to do that.
Well,
they're too mediocre.
Think about it. They did just get the young center. So is that their vision?
Who are you talking about?
Jalen Durant.
Williams? Come on, man. He ain't the answer.
Come on, man. He's not like that.
That's no disrespect to Williams. Well, come on. They need something a little better than that.
He's young.
That is disrespect to Williams.
He's young. He's the profile. He's young.
Well, listen. How much time we dealing with, Marlon?
Well, you got Plumlee there. He can teach him, man.
Time is ticking. You see what the Minnesota Timberwolves did. They made sure they showing up Edwards. Edwards ain't got to think twice. He know he's signing. They making sure they take care of their people. They giving Edwards no thought. You're gonna be here for the next 10 to 12.
Yeah, I mean, in Edwards' case, that's a no-brainer. They showing they putting pieces around you. You might as well stay.
Facts, Marvin.
I like Minnesota. I like a couple teams, man.
Same thing that Cleveland did when they signed Darius Garland. But not long after that, they brought in I wouldn't say a superstar, but a star.
Darius Garland. I like Darius Garland. Hey, I love Cleveland's gonna be that rival for the Bucks this season. But everybody else, Toronto, I'm not really worried about Toronto. They're kind of like in the middle team. They're just goodly coached.
Yeah, we're gonna have something coming on Toronto. We're gonna update them on that season. Toronto is a team that you still got to look out for. No matter, as much as I know they get old and tired, but they will be a competitive team and they will be in the mix. So make sure Toronto's in your playoff picture because they will not bottom out. That's a team that I know we want to move past them, but they're still a very competitive team.
Every year they're in the running for some reason.
Yes, they're for hell with Nick Nurse. They could be a top 3 seed for all we talking. So we don't know how the East gonna shape out.
Are there storm clouds on the horizon for Toronto? They got some big time players coming up for contracts coming up. More than one.
Tell me what's going on because I haven't locked in on the Toronto Raptors yet. I know the season coming up, but I haven't got to them yet.
All right, here's the skinny on them. Gary Trent Jr. is a free agent after this year, and OG, I think his contract is up after this year also. I think they just recently re-signed Boucher, and then what's his name? Damn, the rookie they got. He's gonna be on Israel. He's gonna be ready for extension in 2 years. So they're gonna have some things they need to. This Gary Trent Jr. thing is gonna be kind of interesting, and that's a question I want to ask you guys. Would you guys re-sign him?
I mean, I possibly would. They gave up a lot to give him, right? Or what did they give up to get him?
I don't remember because they got him from Portland.
Was it the first rounder? Yeah, I don't know. They traded the other kid, the other guy. He's nice too. I forgot what team he on. Oh damn, he's a sharpshooter too. The one they traded for. I forgot that dude's name.
Who?
He won the championship.
Away?
He won the champion. Yeah, he won the championship with Toronto.
Oh, you know Laurie?
No, there's another guy.
Siakam.
No, there's
guard or forward.
He was a forward. I forgot his name, but he was one of the best shooters in the league. Yeah.
Siakam.
No, it wasn't Siakam. It was another guy.
They still got Siakam.
Norman Powell.
Powell.
Yeah, Norman Powell.
That's who we got traded for.
Yeah, he on the Clippers.
Yeah, Norman Powell. Yeah, okay. Yeah, Powell was nice. I like what's going on with Portland too. Watch out for Portland.
Yeah. Portland is one of them teams too that's kind of, I don't know where to put
shout out everybody in the chat, Powell. Yeah, I got a little stuck there. Salute to all y'all for helping me out.
Right. Shout out to the chat for helping Flight Sports TV on finding Norman Powell, one of the best shooters of the Toronto Raptors when he was there.
He had a high percentage. I don't know if he wanted to. These percentages is something else. You know the way this NBA is going to learn how to manipulate numbers. I'm telling you, in the future, when we're young, they're going to go back to these numbers. You're going to say, "God damn!" You know the way they manipulate these numbers now. It's going to be hard.
I want to ask y'all this too. Is the best way of building a franchise through the draft, free agency, or trade?
Both. All three.
That's tough. I mean, you got to use
all three.
They all use almost like hand to hand because you got a young team like the Knicks who will rebuild it. You know, to get the pieces, to trade it, to get the players, to get the super. So rebuilding is all in one. You know, so. It's tough. It's tough to, but I understand where you're coming from because look at the Boston Celtics.
Yeah.
Look at the Boston Celtics.
Yeah. That's why I'm trying to address it.
If you in a lower market, you can kind of let your players build. You know, but if you in like New York, LA, and you got a bunch of young assets, they coming to take your shit. You know, there's no way these young players are gonna build here comfortably, make their mistakes, and be able to grow. You know, because they're in too large of a market.
Not in that toxic fan base.
Competitive. You know, like look at Detroit. If the Pistons was in LA, you would have a team, you would have a superstar flocking and feasting away to get over there to just fuck everything up, wreak havoc, trade everything, and you bring in the superstars. But being that is in Detroit, they could just sit there and build the whole shit, for the forever. And then before you know it, they're a powerhouse in 5 years.
So that's why I'm asking.
They will be a powerhouse in 5 years. Those are the teams that you're gonna have to deal with 4 to 5 years from now.
Yeah, so that's why I'm asking. Like, are the Knicks holding a fake hand with all these draft choices?
No, I mean it's tough. That's not true because let's say God forbid, well not God forbid, let's say Lamelo became available like you just said. I mean, all them picks are gonna be used for something because they're gonna have the best chance of getting them. So they're gonna have the players and the picks. They wasn't ready to give up them picks for Donovan Mitchell. Imagine if it was him. So you gotta understand. See, it's different, and they have to they'll give it up and they'll give you everything you want. So
all right.
Look, even if it's not Melo, let's say somebody else. I'm trying to think who else would be really good. Let's say Luka Doncic became available. Oh yeah, it's how you give up everything. Everything. Just gut the team. And we'll figure everything else out from there.
Kyrie's a free agent.
Wow.
Kyrie's a free agent at the end of this year. What about him?
That's right. Well, listen. I mean, I would think about it. Kyrie got a lot of issues. You might be able to get him for the cheap, though.
Shit.
And Kyrie's kind of petty, so he might come.
Let me tell you something.
Might come
Kyrie
next
about to
door for
ball out.
free.
Kyrie about to wild out this season. He's trying to get that money. Trust me. He about to,
Well,
the next gonna be a powerhouse. Kyrie
remember
is a
when I said
contract
that?
year.
Yeah,
He's
when I
trying to get
said
paid.
that,
They was playing with his money this year.
yeah, he's going to be a free agent. You're not going to have to
Yeah,
trade
yes.
for him. You're just
No,
going to have
no,
to pay for him.
Kyrie about to lose it this year. He's gonna be they're gonna make the Nets a serious powerhouse.
We'll
Yeah, when I
see.
mention these players that are when I mention these players that are coming up, they free agents. You don't have to trade for them. They free agents. You just got to sign them.
Right. I got you.
So this is where cap space come in.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what the Knicks gonna do, man. Just sit around and wait for the next star to become available. That's what I said. Right now, ain't nobody available. You don't know what's gonna happen. So just
right,
relax. So it was good. See, look what happened. We didn't trade shit. So we still on the locked and loaded. When the next superstar become available, who's gonna have the best chance? Who's gonna have the most assets? Who's gonna have the most picks? Who's gonna have the most players? Rest my case.
Don't let
So
Dex come
everybody
on the
slow
panel.
down. No, man,
Dex, don't make Dex come on the panel. Please come on.
you trying to cook up with Dex?
Well, I'm just letting you know. You know what he's gonna bring up. Hell, they had the most money last year.
I'm gonna let Dex know you waiting for him.
No, I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I don't bring it up because I don't like to, splash on the Knicks. But they had the most money this past season when
That's right.
Lonzo Ball was available, and they didn't pull the trigger. They got.
I ain't gonna lie. They should have traded for Lonzo Ball. They should have traded for him at that deadline.
They didn't have to. He was a free agent. They could have walked him.
Magic wanted him there too. Magic was advocating for the Knicks to do it. That was when Julius was in his mode, when he was on his shit. You know, they should have did it. I bet they would have beat Atlanta. They would have beat Atlanta if they would have got Lonzo.
And who did they choose? Evan Fournier, and Kemba Walker.
Yeah, but I ain't gonna lie, that dude. Hold on. This dude, for Lonzo Ball, they would have had to give up a couple of first round picks. They probably would have wanted at least 2 first round picks for Lonzo Ball.
Man,
New Orleans might have wanted more. They probably was gonna ask for 3.
Right. He was a free agent, Flight.
No, I know, but I'm just saying, no, hold on. The free agent, that was already a done deal with Chicago. Let's not be stupid.
No, Flight. It was only a done deal after the New York didn't offer him enough.
No, it wasn't even about that, man. The Knicks should have traded for him. Knicks should have traded for him, man. That's what they fucked up at. The Knicks should have traded for him. If
oh my goodness.
They would have had him.
Wait, let me leave that one alone. Well, what about DeRozan? Because they could have got him too.
Right, DeFrozen. Yeah, DeFrozen.
I don't know.
They could have got DeMar too.
I don't know if the Knicks should. I mean, at this point, the Knicks, we just need talent. I'll take DeRozan. We need anything. DeRozan will be perfect for us.
Marvin, it's so great to laugh at other teams like desperation. They said they'll pick DeFrozen. I'll pick anybody as long as they're talented. That's tough.
You just got Marvin on switch his team. Not Marvin. I mean, Mark Quarzon got a new team talking about he a goddamn Milwaukee Bucks fan.
Yes, sir.
Wow.
I even got a Milwaukee Bucks picture on my as my picture. I'm all in, coach. I'm all in. No, Flight. It's not sad. It's me being a realist. It's me being a realist. You call all you want to. I can't deal with it. I ain't gonna sit here and have heart problems and stuff for this team doing stupid stuff because they want to offer a team 2 picks to get Donovan Mitchell, knowing that ain't good enough. What kind of sense does that make? I'm done with that team. I'm done.
No, I'm gonna run it down to you what happened with the Knicks, man. Listen, they got a little arrogant. They felt they was the only kid on the block. That Donovan, they had all the best assets. They felt like everything. And then, hold on. What they did was shum Danny Ainge 2 times in the face. The first time is when they offered Mitchell Robinson, Obi Toppin, and R.J. Barrett, and Danny Ainge said no.
He should have took it, though.
All right, hold on. He said no. 1 day later is when they signed Mitchell Robinson. to tell Danny Ainge, okay, you won't
Screw
get
you.
him. So
And then they signed RJ, and you won't get him. So
I mean,
right.
here it is. A month would pass, and then they put RJ back in a package. And then when Danny Ainge said no again, they signed RJ. The very next day, Danny Ainge
He
made
was
the deal
traded.
with Cleveland. He made the deal with Cleveland the very next day.
And he didn't give the Knicks an opportunity to even fix it again. That was fucked
I
up.
mean, but Flight, why would he? They just told you they wanted RJ.
Well, no, they get what they get.
Yeah, but listen, here it is. They just asked for RJ because you said, okay, I'll give you RJ, but the Knicks came down on one of their picks. Instead of 3, they said 2. So Danny Ainge said no. So that next day, who is it? The Knicks signed an extension to RJ. So the next day after that, Danny Ainge get a damn player to Cleveland.
Hey, that's hilarious, bro.
And now
Trade to Cleveland.
And then what makes it so bad, Marquez, is right after that, right after they trade Donovan to Cleveland, Knicks PR department come out and say, we cherish RJ Barrett as a cornerstone to this franchise. Right after they just had him on the trading block. Cold-blooded.
Hey, Marvin, I'm just laughing.
I know it, man. It's funny. I mean, to me, it's not funny simply because of how bad the Knicks really just need a culture change. It's sad that their front office want to play when you really need something. You know? It's truly sad. So.
Yeah, I mean, you remember you had asked that question about, who was better between Donovan Mitchell and Lamelo Ball, possibly the upside.
Yeah.
Well, who do you think?
Oh, I'm definitely going with Lamelo. He's younger, and his upside is out the roof. Who knows how good he can be? We don't even know.
Right.
I mean, just like the teams I just mentioned, Flight. If he got on a real good team, man, ain't no telling what that boy could do, man. He got on another team that had 1.5 more superstars on it. You can't focus directly on him, man. That boy gonna go crazy.
Right.
You know what he would look like in Milwaukee? Come on, man.
And what's wrong with Milwaukee?
I said, do you know what Melo would look like in Milwaukee? It would be off the chain.
Oh yeah, especially down there with Giannis.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, for real. I like that move too. But like I said, there's one thing about Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan ain't in love with LaMelo, believe me. He ain't no fool neither. He ain't gonna let him go for peanuts. Not that kind of talent.
No, he ain't stupid.
Yeah, but I don't think he wanna I don't think he want to keep his hands on him like that. I don't know what it is, but I don't think he's gonna try to build too much around him like that. And then when Marvin asked that question, do we see people coming from miles around, from all over the country trying to come play with Melo? No, not in Charlotte too much anyway. I don't want to play with Melo because Melo that type of player. Melo is like Lonzo, he make other people better. So basketball players like that, they notice that. So they try to flock around them type of people. But, man, going out there and playing with Michael Jordan out there in Charlotte, they can ask. Sorry.
And I sure hate that for him, man, because where he is stopping a lot of people from coming where he is.
Yeah.
If he was anywhere else, I think he would even, if he was in Utah, he'd probably better draw than he is in Charlotte.
And not only just that, Marvin, but he's a messy owner. He a messy owner. He stand too much stuff. Like, he kind of tight with money.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then he tried to make then he tried to bring it around to his players, like, we're a small market team, you know what I'm saying? We can't afford to do such and such, so I'm going to skim you on your contract, your next contract coming. Excuse me.
Yeah, but he
Who's
playing with
next
fire.
contract?
He playing with fire when he playing with Melo.
Yeah, that's on anybody's contract. I'll give you a good example, too. Like, what that what's the name? Okay, when they talk about what's his name, Terry. When they talk about him, they always mention his bad contract. Where you get that feeling that looks at his contract always as being a bad contract? I can understand what that matter of fact, they on Terry's bad side more than they's on Gordon's. So I can understand that. But why it seemed like that word be coming from Charlotte's end instead of, like the newsmen out around the country. It seemed like Charlotte be making it seem like Terry's a bad contract all the time, so he's on the chopping block all the time.
I mean, that's a good question.
And
people don't like that contract, obviously.
Yeah. But they okay. To a certain extent, they okay with his play because he come through sometimes. Like, you know what I'm saying? He ain't no.
That's true. That's facts. That's facts.
He don't punk out. I mean, he don't play out like that. Like a lot of people do. You understand me? He is money, but it's like that though, man. Charlotte, man.
You know what I was just thinking, guys? Charlotte's got a lot of players that would fit on other teams.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
They really do.
Yeah.
They really do. Because Rozier fit on a lot of teams in the NBA.
Same way when they had Monk, when Monk fit and went over to the Lakers. Same way when they had man, who is that other dude they had a couple of players. They had a couple. What's his name? When they used to have what's his name, Kimball Walker and all them. They try to do all that. They do that all the time. They get them kind of players that can go play somewhere else and be good somewhere else too. Be better than they was when they was in Charlotte.
Yeah, man. If Bridges didn't have this over him, he would fit well somewhere else. Kelly Oubre would fit well somewhere else. About the only one who wouldn't fit is, and even Gordon Hayward, he would fit on a contending team coming off the bench.
Yeah,
because I don't know where Plumlee would fit nowhere though. But he's about the only one on that team that you really can't see a destination for. Everybody else, they can leave and go play well with somebody else.
Yeah, Plumlee can come off the bench in any place. But it ain't team, he can come off the bench and play. He ain't gonna get you a whole lot of nothing. He gonna get you a couple of rebounds. He ain't gonna protect the rim, no work, nothing. He ain't gonna get you that many points, but he'll play some solid play. Halfway anyway.
So what does that mean? Do they have a bunch of role players on their team?
Role players, exactly. That's it. That's all.
That's the truth.
Yeah.
Except Melo.
Oh, Melo ain't no role player.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Melo trying to play a role, but Michael Jordan won't let him play it. Telling you.
Unc, I got a call coming in. I'll be right back.
Okay. So what's good? You there?
Yeah, I'm here with you.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, it's like, yeah, man. I hope I like you to answer to that question. That Charlotte question is, man. I don't know what Melo and them gonna do out there this year, man. I have the slightest. I hope for the best, but I'm expecting the worst. Like,
you're expecting the worst for who?
For Charlotte and for Charlotte anyway. I ain't expecting the worst from Melo. He gonna take himself anyway. But I was expecting the worst for Charlotte. That was the answer to the question. How we think Charlotte's gonna fare in the East. I don't think it's gonna look good.
So they definitely got their work cut out for them.
Yeah, and then some.
That's a crucial year, man. It's wild. But let's see what they can do, man. Don't count them out. Last year, the Hornets was a team that a lot of people counted out, but their people still had to deal with them. A lot of times when they thought the game was over, the Hornets never gave up and messed around and came back and won, or they made the game competitive. Against a lot of teams, they didn't feel like they should have even been competitive against.
Yeah, when you got Melo on the corner of your team like that, you know what I'm saying? You got the ball in his head, you're gonna be competitive. He gonna be competitive. And he know how to get the ball, and he know how to get the ball to people.
Yeah, if nothing else, he gonna definitely work it out.
Right. So yeah, they gonna be competitive, but I mean, hey, all right.
He's gonna be but I mean, there's only so much they can do. There's only so much like you're stacking the deck against him, you know.
Right. Because I look at it like this. I look at it like they to a certain extent, if they played the worst team in the NBA, and if I say the worst team in the West is the the Houston Rockets. You understand me? They play the Houston Rockets. I don't think they could beat the Houston Rockets in a 7-game series
Nah, why would you say that? Not the Houston Rockets. I think they could.
because of the fact that Houston Rockets
Houston all right though. I ain't gonna lie. Houston ain't
yeah,
trash.
they got a lot of young. Houston got a lot of young talent, but Charlotte got young talent and experience. But I don't think I can see that talent that Houston got out there. You understand, which got them dead last in the West, can beat Charlotte, which is gonna be dead last in the East. I think Houston can beat them in the 7-game series just on the strength of their talent alone.
I mean, we're gonna find out. I like what Jalen Green. I like what some of these guys can bring to the table.
Yeah, right. Yeah, me too. Yeah.
Yeah, Porter Jr. is pretty solid. They got some pieces. Let's see, Silas. You know, this is second year.
Yeah.
So like the coach. This is the coach's second year. He had a lot of turmoil.
Yeah.
You know.
Is that Paul Silas' son?
I don't know his name. This is Steven Silas.
Okay.
Yeah, Steven Silas. So this is you know he should have some hopefully some continuity under his belt.
Okay.
You know, won't have to deal with so much. You know, see what happens. Talent does a Houston Coke crap. Yeah, wow. So let me know if y'all like Houston. What y'all see from Houston? Because everybody's so high on the Detroit Pistons. What about Houston Rockets? They had the second pick, Jalen Green.
Yeah.
I hear a lot of Cade Cunningham, but what about Jalen Green?
Yeah.
I think Jalen Green will have a problem with that. I like Jalen Green.
Yeah, I like his game. I don't like Cade Cunningham's game too much. It's okay.
No?
I like Green's game.
No, Cade Cunningham is cool, but I mean Green is definitely solid. I don't know why people forget to talk about Jalen Green for what reason. We're gonna ask Marvin about that. We're in here talking about the Houston Rockets. Why are people so high on Cade Cunningham, but why we forgetting to talk about Jalen Green? You remember he was the second pick for crying out loud. What's going on with that?
Didn't he have a little problem?
We're gonna get to some Houston Rockets talk too, so just be patient. We got some time.
Shout out to Bays though.
Didn't he have a problem with management or the coach or something one time this past year? Didn't he kind of?
I'm not sure. I know he was hurt. I know that he was injured.
Yeah, I think he had a spout with either the front office or either the coach or something. Kind of showed his. He turned it around. Like, yeah, I think he apologized and everything, but I think he did have an outburst. Kind of showed you. Kind of showed you. I don't know if it was him or the other one on the team. It was one of them.
I know Kevin Porter's out there. They do got some young players. They just drafted a high pick, you know, so let's see what they could do. You know, the only problem with them is they out west. You know, Cade Cunningham in the east, so it's a little more exciting, I guess. But the west.
But if you look at Houston's direction, they showing a good direction. They doing
the right
thing.
They got a good direction. Just they in the east, they in the west, so they need a little bit more directing.
Right. And another thing too, Flight, you was right because you said those teams, like them teams that get those draft picks and stuff like that. That's how they move it up. That's how used to move it up, just like that.
Yeah. But Houston probably won't make no trades because it's Houston. But remember, they years ago, who knows? Houston is still a little city because they traded for Harden back in the days.
Right.
What did they get back from Woods? Was that a trade with Dallas or was he a free agent?
I'm not sure. I don't think they got back much. I don't think it was nothing significant.
Who did they get? They got somebody for.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I think that was I think that was a trade. I don't know if it was a free agent pickup. I think that was a trade, but I can't remember who. Oh, okay, they got Boban. Yeah, that's right. Talented said they got Boban.
Okay.
God damn, that was
They
a
did?
steal. Yeah, that was a steal.
Okay.
Ted, did they get some draft picks along with Boban? I think they got some draft picks from Dallas too.
Who's Boban? That's that tall
The
dude?
big dude. Yeah, the big
Yeah, the
dude.
big old gigantic motherfucker.
Yeah.
The big gigantic.
Yeah.
That's
All
why I
right.
say ain't no way in the hell they gonna make that trade straight up. They had to get something else to go with him.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. I remember him. I remember him. He played for Dallas.
He's solid.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember him.
A lot of people want to use him because of his size.
Yeah.
You can't teach
Flight,
7 feet.
I wanted to ask you this, Flight. From the situation that just went on with the Knicks and Danny Ainge, would you like to have Danny Ainge in your front office?
I mean, Danny Ainge ain't a bad general manager when he's your general manager.
Damn right.
You know,
He'll get
boy,
the job
your
done,
president. He ain't a general manager. He a president.
but he'll get the job done. Shit.
Yeah, he gonna get you them pieces. So I mean, you hate him going against him, but you love him if that was your guy.
You're damn right.
Why did the Bulls get rid of him?
Who, Danny Ainge?
Yeah.
We didn't never have Danny Ainge. We didn't never have Danny Ainge.
I thought the Bulls bought. Why did Boston get rid of him?
I don't know. So I mean, sometimes you just wear out your welcome.
Oh, okay.
I mean, he's been in Boston forever.
That was something like he had been there so long he wanted a new look.
Yeah,
I don't think it was.
He's always gonna be a Celtic. So let him conquer something else.
Cause he kind of remind me in his manager, ways like that. What's the name? John Paxson. Remember Paxson when the Bulls got him and Paxson? They called him what is because he came general manager and all that, and they ran him up out of there real fast.
Well, come on, let's not mention Paxson in the front office. He didn't really do a good job. Shit.
Okay, he wasn't even close to Danny Ainge, huh?
Oh hell no.
Okay.
Hell no.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Shy, man. He's too timid. Too timid. You gotta be like Danny Ainge when you got that position. You need to be shrewd. Danny Ainge is a shrewd operator, brother. And that's what gets jobs done in that line of work.
Yeah.
Hello, gentlemen.
Hey,
well,
Purple, baby.
Miss Purple. What's going on?
Oh, nothing. I just came to answer the question on the stream.
On who?
I said I just came to answer the question on the stream.
What's that? What's that? Talk to us. What about
your stream as?
The title?
They're gonna do as good as somebody hoping to win the lottery. That's how good they're gonna do.
Wow.
They're gonna do so good to win the lottery. Say it again, baby.
They're gonna do as good as people do when they hope to win the lottery.
They go tank.
Hey.
Well, I tell you this, Purple Baby and Unc. If they play in the middle, then they ain't trying to do nothing. It's true what Dex said about them being afraid to get to the second round and losing $200 million. If they play like they played last year and don't end up getting nothing out of the draft, they're not trying to win, guys. Real simple.
I agree.
I told you once before, they'll draft somebody just to say that they ain't ready. They stay doing that. Now, how you draft Mark Williams when you drafted him, but he ain't ready?
Oh, and also
these first round picks.
Yeah.
Yeah. The guy's right in the chat that Danny Ainge resigned due to retirement. So that's why he left Boston.
Oh, okay.
And then they do that shit to get the hell out.
Yeah,
something might have been going on.
Go somewhere else. Yeah.
That's why Kyrie told me I'm gonna retire. He just gonna retire so he can fuck around and come back out of retirement and go to another team. It's just a big trick bag.
Yeah.
You just got to just read between the lines.
That's the way to get out of where you are without being let go, fired, and leaving bad. You know what I mean?
Now I
Yeah,
want to, dang
because
it.
Danny Ainge, they can't fire him.
I
Even
need
if shit
Yeah, they
was
won't
going
go.
bad, not at the Celtics. He can get fired up in Utah, but he can't get fired. They gotta make that shit look good.
Yeah,
Danny Ainge, you can't just throw his ass out the door in Boston.
Yeah.
uh
but did he
Go ahead.
leave too early? They went to the finals. Did he leave too early, Flight?
Go ahead, Purple
So
Baby.
it's tough. I mean, he probably just wanted a new outlook, accomplish something else.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead,
no,
Purple.
I need to look up something because a couple nights ago, FYS put in the chat that
Yeah.
Charlotte don't have no picks. I mean, they don't have their own picks, which is sort of true. So I'm trying to find this website because
Why wouldn't they have their own picks? Did they use them for
So now
Montrezl
I
Harrell?
don't know what they're talking about.
no, they traded. What happened was they traded. What I can remember is Kai Jones. They traded that pick to New York. New York then I think traded that pick to Atlanta for Cam Reddish, and then Atlanta traded that pick to someone else.
Wow.
And that's their 2023 pick. But I'm trying to find the website that
And
I
I'm trying to figure out why they would trade a pick because they damn sure ain't show no direction on trying to build as a build and bringing in another free agent. What would that be besides
the
Montrezl Harrell?
only pick I know they got for sure is that Denver Nuggets pick, first round pick, but that's it, and that's next year. And of course, they got their 2024 picks and stuff like that. But the 2023 pick, I know they don't have. They don't have their own pick.
Yeah, I just wanted to address Memphis 10 in the chat. He writes, Ainge drafted the whole roster for the Celtics that played in the finals, which gives him great credentials going somewhere else, Memphis 10. And if quiet is kept, he is doing something special in Utah. Give him 4 years, they're gonna be a problem.
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe not even 4, probably 3 years, they're gonna be a problem. Because he got so many
What's
picks
good? What's
now.
good?
Hey, what up? What up? What up?
Through.
So Marvin, this is basically what happened with their pick. So after they drafted Book Knight, they went and they traded up and they went and got Kai Jones.
Yes.
And with doing so, Marvin, they traded that first round pick with the Knicks. The Knicks
What?
ended up giving that. The Knicks even up giving, like Baby said, the Knicks even up giving that pick to the Hawks for Cam Reddish. And then basically the Knicks ended up taking that pick that they got from Charlotte, which got from them from Charlotte, and they sent it to the Hawks. The Hawks ended up sending that to San Antonio. So
Yep.
when they got Dejounte Murray,
Wow. Wow.
so that's what happened.
Yep.
So they basically Charlotte took a chance on Kai Jones, which is a project. So you
Yeah.
have to realize that although Charlotte has veterans on the team, they're still a project team. Like Charlotte Hornets are more closer to the Orlando Magic than they are basically to the Cleveland Cavaliers, if you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying. So they're
And they
more,
should
but
be.
they're more still in the rebuild mode. But Marvin, I get your point, but sometimes it takes a couple years to really get things going when you got a bunch of young players.
Yeah, but that was a bad
So
move for that Kyrie Jones. That just wasn't a good move.
Did you call him?
you talking about for Kai Jones? I mean,
I mean,
I
Kai,
mean, I
Kai
mean,
Jones.
Yeah, so he
I
said
mean, not
Kyrie
necessarily.
Jones. We heard
I
that.
mean, not
I
necessarily. I
meant
mean,
Kai Jones. I mean Kai.
Real
Marvin,
fuck
in
up.
hindsight, when you look at it from their point of view, they knew what they were getting. It was going to be a project. They knew Kai
Okay,
Jones was going to be a
but my
project.
God,
That's just is what it is.
respect.
So now Kai Jones this year looked like he can probably get some minutes. We'll see, but that's basically what it is. They knew it was going to be a long-term project. He came out when he was only 20 years old. So you got to
And
remember that. You got to remember that their young roster core: Mark Williams, 20, Book Knight, 2021, Lamelo just turned 21. Kai Jones I think he's 2021. Thor, 2021. So, look at Jaden McDaniel. He's only 22, 23. So they basically have a young core that they're trying to, basically work out on the back end. And cool, you got LiAngelo still in the team. He's only 20, 23, 24. So you still got young players on the back end they're still working on. So what's going to happen? This is what I'm thinking is going to happen. The team is basically going to. I don't think the team is going to do well because I think pretty much everybody in the East pretty much got either they stayed the same, which where they are already better, or they got better. So Charlotte is going to pretty much fall a little bit, which is basically going to push their hand further in making moves by getting some of those expiring contracts before the trade deadline. And so what's going to happen is they're going to do that, probably get back pieces they want maybe a little bit earlier than expected, or basically probably take on another expiring deal just to get rid of them at the end of the year. And then basically they're going to give all the minutes to the young players. And that's pretty much what they're going to do. So it's going to build that camaraderie with the young players, similar to what the OKC been doing, and basically similar to what the Utah Jazz are going to do. Just get rid of a bunch of the old players during the season, like Mike Conley and all of them. That's what they're doing. They're going to go into the offseason with all the money they have, and they're going to retool the team. So they're going to basically figure out what they have in the young players by playing them, and then figure out how they're going to rebuild about LaMelo. I get what everyone's point of view is, but when they got LaMelo, it was going to be a project anyways.
All right. I hope we're gonna get into it. We got all access. Just step in the building. Dex, what's good?
Shout out to Flight Sports TV, the machine, the voice of the voiceless, the people's champ. Shout out to the panel. Shout out to everybody.
Hey,
I'm just binge watching Star Wars. So
I hear it in the background.
Yeah, but go ahead, Murgot, do your thing, man. I'm just an observer.
Nah, I'm pretty much on the tail end. I was just saying that they're pretty much that's what they're doing, man. They're gonna try to retool the team around LaMelo next offseason where they got a bunch of money, all the experience they're done. They know what they got in the young players. That's pretty much what they're gonna do.
I can't wait to get to him too, Purple Baby, but go ahead.
No, okay, here's my thing. We don't know how ready any player is for the NBA level unless they're top three. And even if they're top three, sometimes they can have flaws. And the best example I can give is this year with Jabari Smith and them. That's cool. I just don't agree with them taking Kai Jones when you know you needed a center. The center didn't need to be young, but you knew you needed one. And you took a project that didn't make no sense once you seen, because you can't tell me that LaMelo kept surprising them, like, oh, I didn't know he can do this. So he immediately exceeded some expectations. So why would you draft a project?
Because you draft. That's like the Bulls drafting Dalen Terry. Dalen Terry is a project. He's very polished on the defensive end, but his offense is very subpar. He's not there yet. So basically, a lot of hitters, right? For the team, let me explain the team. The teams that are in the 1 through 13, they usually draft players that are pretty much some of those players are ready to play. On the back end, going into the second round, after that, you're drafting players that's pretty much some of them are usually, if you notice, some of them are usually projects, and you base it off potential. And if you look at what Kai Jones was drafted at, Kai Jones has a very high ceiling, but he does have to work on some things, just like a couple other players. But the thing is, so he does things that you just can't teach, like Dalen Terry. Dalen Terry is what? A great communicator, a great defender, great on help defense. He's a very good passer. He has to work on his offense game. He has to shoot. The same thing with what's his name? Kai Jones. Kai Jones has something that pretty much half those players and what he got drafted with don't have. The man is an athletic freak, literally. Did you see him when he was playing for the Bahamas? His head was above the rim.
Okay. But what she's getting to, Murgot, I believe what she's trying to say is this: when you know your immediate need is center, why would you try a project? Also, the players mentioned. Hold on. I'm gonna let you go right into this. Also, the players you just mentioned in Thor and so on and so forth, they haven't developed them. They ain't let them play. The time is coming up after this season where they should be then had at least one full season under their belt, and they haven't. So where are they? Where is the direction? Where is the where they trying to develop these players? All the players that you just mentioned, I don't remember seeing them play a minute last year. So if you say that, also, you taking a risk in doing this and not even knowing if LaMelo wants to stay. And I know that's a big if, but if he decides to leave, your plan is blown up like crazy. Go
But
ahead.
then if he just but Marvin, if he decides to leave, then you basically what you do is you trade him to get the most assets from him. They're going to get a haul for LaMelo if they move him. They probably they would have to start over.
They would
Yeah.
never trade
They would
LaMelo.
have to start over, but
I don't think they
that's the
will
whole
either.
point.
Tex.
I mean,
I don't think
that's
they'll never trade him.
But Marvin, we're talking hypothetical since you brung up trading him. That's what they have to do. They have to get the most they can get out for him. You see what I'm saying? But the point is that what I'm talking about is with Kai Jones, some of those young players, they're going to play this year. That's the point of it. They're going to play this year. They're going to play this year. The thing is that that's what they're doing. They're pretty much basically drafted a lot of players that have basically versatility, like with Kai Jones. Kai Jones put on some weight. You know how long? Kai Jones is 6'11", 6'10", 6'11", with a 7'3" wingspan. He can play both power forward and center. And in some cases, Thor, who's 6'10", who has a long wingspan, who's a 4, he can play in some situations 4-5 as well. But they drafted their basically 5 for the future this year.
Right.
And they probably in that draft didn't see anyone that was very high value, because we know in the draft that certain players they have on their board, they might not have seen as high value as Kai Jones at that point. They might have seen other big men that they said, we really don't like them, so we'll go after this player right here because they like his potential. They work them out, and they see something there with them later down the line. You know, they knew he was a project, and I get everyone's point of view as far as like, where is he and everything like that. He's not really there yet. He wasn't there. I mean, but he has a lot of potential. And as long as this is the thing with Kai Jones, if you can limit him and things that he does on the court, basically saying, don't shoot the basketball. The only thing you do is run pick and roll with LaMelo, rebound the ball well, block shots well, and whenever you get the rebound, pass it to LaMelo and sprint down the court. That's all he has to do. If you limit his role in that right now, you help his development out by giving him minutes, including the fact that he's a great pick and roll partner with LaMelo. Probably want to be one of the best on the team with LaMelo because of his athletic ability.
But okay,
you have to look at the long game with it. This is a team that's very young on the back end, and we have to look at the long game with it. They're not like the Bulls where they're looking to win now. This team is looking to win 2-3 years from now. That's how it is.
Was somebody else about to start talking?
No, go ahead.
No, here's what I say. I heard y'all talking about Shai Gilgeous FYF did the other night, right? What I feel is that it's gonna be. I do think LaMelo is better than Shai Gilgeous in a lot of ways, but it's gonna be a situation like that where you're looking at a player and you're like, okay, they're be on a win now team. You know, their impact could mean more on a win now team because all I see is this team getting younger and younger. And as long as Terry Rozier, Kelly Oubre, Plumlee, and Hayward are there, those young guys can't get run with LaMelo. So what's the point to keep drafting where you're drafting and you don't put those guys on the floor with LaMelo? You know, I would think now he would be out of your plan. You know, it's like, okay, we got to find another guard.
Yeah, and I agree. And also, I just wanted to throw this out there before you go any further, Murgard. I didn't realize what Dex had brought up about them being afraid of going too far because they could lose money. And what you describing puts them exactly where they need to be so they won't go nowhere. Keep acting like you're rebuilding. Keep acting like you're developing. You won't never get very far, and they can keep making the money they make. I really believe that.
Well, it ain't like they got that idea just yesterday. They've been doing that since Michael Jordan been the owner of the Charlotte Hornets. I mean,
I have to disagree with you on that.
Hey, all right, ask Dex then. What you think, Dex?
I mean,
Well-
they haven't really gone through a rebuild mode because when they got Kemba, they were trying to win. It's just that they just didn't have the talent because the players that they had on that team, they just had a very poor, very poor scouting team to where basically they scouted players, and that was their biggest issue. And when basically Mitch came, the one thing I can say is that Mitch, even though basically I personally think he has been a little bit lazy on the roster, but he has drafted players that have been very, basically very capable or comparable on the team. At least you can play them. You can't play Michael Kidd-Gilchrist. I'm sorry, you can't play him. But you can play P.J. Washington. You can play Jaden McDaniels. So they have a lot of youth on this team. The thing is, though, that we have to see how they develop and how they're going to play them. So the four main veterans on the team, which is Mason Plumlee, Kelly Oubre, who are both on expiring deals, Gordon Hayward, and Terry Rozier. I personally think before the trade deadline, those two and Miles Plumlee and Kelly Oubre are going to be gone. Especially since I think they're not going to be winning. I think they're going to be gone. The other two,
Gordon Hayward. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
The thing is, I don't know about Gordon Hayward. I think they may wait till the offseason to move Gordon since he be on aspiring deal. But Terry, I don't think they're sold on Terry anyways. So they're going to find someone to move Terry. It's just a matter of basically who they're going to do it with. We just don't know. So I think they're going to move Terry because I don't think Terry's in their long-term plans. So because I personally also think that Terry was one of the reasons why they brought in old dude to come in and coach anyways. Because Terry don't like to listen to nobody. He's very arrogant. He's very arrogant. And he thinks he knows everything, and he thinks he's really good. When he's basically pretty much above average.
Like that.
So,
my God.
So it's like I think that's the reason why they got him, because the team needs discipline. They're a very undisciplined team. You can tell that by how they play. You can tell that by how basically they communicate. You can tell that basically by how they play defense with a lack of effort. You can tell that basically by how they communicate with James Borrego. They didn't take him serious. So they bring in a coach like that. That way they can do that with, including the fact that now they got to be able to see basically what they're going to see in these young guys, which I think all the veterans is going to be moved by the trade deadline, especially the ones with the expiring deals. So, I mean, because I'm seeing this team, I get it where everyone's coming from when basically they're right now, but I'm not focused on right now. I'm focused on this team 2-3 years from now. That's when this team is going to really actually be good, because that's when basically they can actually be able to put pieces around LaMelo. At least that's just how I see it right there. That's how I see it. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate because I want LaMelo to basically be able to make the playoffs and get that experience. But he might have to, like I told Dex one time, he may have to thug it out one more year.
But I agree with you. I have a concern that
What's
you
your concern?
can't like here's the concern. I think LaMelo can adapt with anybody no matter what the age is. My concern is the learning curve that they have, like putting Bouknight back and forth from the main roster to the G League and then getting some time here on the court and then going back to the G League. That's a concern to me. And then PJ, it's just I don't know what PJ. He just there. He was a part of an issue. Still is a part of an issue. McDaniels is just I don't know. It's like one game he'll have it together and then the next he just lost. I'm just worried about moving them at the trade deadline halfway through the season, and then you want these guys. That's a lot to put those young guys on the floor with a third year. Well, this will be his second full year starting, but I don't think that's smart.
I mean, but Purple Baby, you have to realize, like I said, We're looking at the long term. So regardless if basically you think it's smart or not, to be honest with you, just getting them on the floor to play with LaMelo as young as they are is smart in his own right because you want to get them minutes. You want to get them to have camaraderie, even if they lose. That's similar to the situation with the OKC Thunder. What was the OKC Thunder doing during the Summer League? They were playing Chet Holmgren with Josh Giddey just to get him some camaraderie, just to get him some minutes with a player that has a little bit of veteranship in the league, so that he can gain some experience, to gain some wisdom about how things go, how things maneuver, how to wake up or how to prepare. That's the same thing LaMelo's going to be able to do with these young guys because he has the experience, and I think LaMelo's going to take a step forward in the leadership department. So regardless, I get your concerns, but to me, basically, I see it as, I see it as a blessing in disguise because you're going to get the young guys minutes. You're going to be able to have camaraderie with LaMelo. Then you're going to be able to move off of those old guys and those bad contracts and bring in a new fresh revamped team, a retooled team that actually go out there that can compete better. So that's how I see it right there. I get it, with in these players that you're talking about with PJ's on the expiring deal. Jaden McDaniels on the expiring deal. So these players that you're talking about that's on expiring deals, if they don't come out and play great, who cares? Move on from them. You got all that, like for example, they got 4 players on the team that can play the same position Jaden McDaniels can play and PJ can play. That's young. See what I'm saying? So they can just move off of them, man. They can move off of them too.
And that's agreed, but once again, whether it be with draft picks, I believe they'll find some free agent stuff. But with draft picks, you're not feeling your forward position if you let PJ go. And I don't think PJ's that good, but that's not smart when you not had a guy. I don't believe McDaniels is a 4. I think he's a 3. He's more suited to play the 3 than anything. I like Thor better as a 4, but if he's not where he needs to be in his stage of development, nevertheless, the time on the court, I just feel like it's dangerous unless you've been in the league as long as like the Chris Pauls and the Chris Pauls or the LeBron James. It's dangerous to take.
I have to ask you a question. When you finish.
Okay. No, I was just gonna say, you mentioned OKC, and Shai Gilgeous is over there. His age fits with that team, but where he is mentally and physically within his development doesn't fit with what they're trying to do. So they trying to get off of him. They do want, I guess, some more picks, for him. But I'm pretty sure if they could get picks for him, he's not going to be on that team. They're going to get an even younger guy to fit in that timeline with Giddey and the other guy that they just drafted. That's all I'm saying. That's my only concern. Yes, Book Knight and them fit in the same age range, but OKC is playing their young guys together. Houston is playing their young guys together. Orlando's going to be playing their young guys together. Detroit's going to be playing their young guys together. Indiana is. Them veterans already know.
Has Charlotte? That's the question I wanted from Mergar before.
No. You can go ahead, Marvin.
I just wanted to ask a question.
No. Hold on. Before you go, Marvin, I had a question for Purple Baby first. My question is what is your expectations of this team based on what you see from this roster? Because you're saying that it's dangerous, this, that, and the third with these players. But my question to you is what are your expectations for this team? Because the expectations is not high for this team.
But I've said that since LaMelo's been there. I don't know why people thought this was a playoff team. Because what I believe in, and I'm going to take it to football really quickly, is you have to – it's very rare that you bring quarterbacks in and they have instant connections with veteran wide receivers. Ordinarily, you're going to take a guy in the draft with him, or you're going to take a running back or a lineman, whatever your need is at the time, to best suit that quarterback within the growth and the development so they can know each other. And you know where their spots is on the court. Like, it's just different. And I feel like everybody's on a different stage of development. And as far as their learning curve is, it's different. Like, I feel that Kai Jones and JT Thor is on one end of their development with their chemistry. Book Knight is just in the middle. And then you got LaMelo that could possibly exceed to like a Devin Booker type level in his development and his how he learns the
I think
game
he
or
go
what's
higher than that.
I
Well,
mean,
I
not
say
to
this.
say he's done, you know.
I say this
But
before
go
you
ahead.
go. Before you go, Margot. The reason I got concerns with him, I don't follow him very closely, but I do understand their direction. I just don't see why. Because I was going to ask this question, if anybody know, how many games this past season did these guys you just mentioned, McDaniels, Thor, and all these guys, how many games they played last year? Now I know it wouldn't be a problem playing them all this year. I know that, Margot. But to me, if you didn't have them for 2 years, they should have already been playing, which gives me the reason to have, kind of doubts on their direction. Now, I believe their direction is rebuild. I definitely believe that. But I just don't think they've been trying to do it properly.
The
They just
Hornets'
like
direction is no direction.
that's what I'm saying. Just like
but
Purple Baby
to
just said. Hang
explain
on
to
one
you,
second. Hang on one second, my God. Just like Purple Baby just said about I can't remember one of the guys' name that's back and forth from the G League. Well, if you really got him in your plans, your best place to development is in the NBA. And if you're going to keep playing Plumlee and all these other guys, you still could have had him on the roster and just sprinkled him in here and there. So I'm not doubting what you're saying, Murgard. I'm just saying it's kind of shady on what they really wanted to do, and it's kind of shady on the players they've been drafting. Meaning, I don't see them really. Yeah, they are players that can take the roles of the other players, if veterans that if they leave, but are they ready? Hell no.
So let me explain to you the best way possible on what the Charlotte Hornets tried to do, but basically they failed at doing because they didn't have the talent on the team. They try to pull a San Antonio Spurs.
Say what now, babe?
They tried to do that. They tried to have where they have a bunch of veterans in the lead, and then try to have the young players develop in the background. The young players develop in the background, and then usurp the veterans and then push them on out the way. They tried to do that. Unfortunately, the veterans that they have are just not comparable on the team. They're just not very good on the basketball court, like Mason Plumlee and Kelly Oubre and those guys. They're just not consistent. It didn't work well. So that's what they were trying to do, including Mitch told you what they were looking to do. They were looking to compete and try to get into the playoffs. But I think they changed a different tune, especially since the East got better, and they haven't. So I think it's going to change their direction, which is they're going to look into, which I think they're going to look into going to the rebuild mode and just basically play the young guys. Because a lot of the young players I talked about, some of those guys were rookies and they didn't play much last season. Because we had a few rookies in our team that didn't play much last season on the Bulls, but they weren't because we had veterans playing. The same thing with Charlotte. They had basically, veterans playing because they were looking to compete and try to get into the play-in because they had players that can compete a little bit now in Terry, Miles Bridges, etc. But since basically the East got better, certain things happened on the team, they're going to look into a different direction, which is rebuilding and start pushing the young players forward. I think that what they're trying to do was get the young players and try to develop them in the background and try to keep them basically out the way and then start basically substituting them in as they go along. They try to believe that. Basically, they try to pull a San Antonio Spurs. So that's what they try to do, but they failed. They failed at it. So it's like now I think. So I think now they're trying to. So I think now they're trying to push the veterans out. So that's just my perspective on it.
Yeah, that's Murgot perspective, but Murgot perspective sound more of a PR campaign than anything else.
They're not trying to PR nothing, man.
They have a whole.
Man, be nice to the man.
No, Murgot's cool. That's our people's, but they have a whole G League to do all this. There's no excuses for this Hornets organization.
I didn't say it was any excuses, man.
This is not towards you, Murgot. That's not to you. I'm just speaking. They have a whole G League. Yeah, they have a whole G League to try to get these players fit and suitable to come up and wear a Charlotte Hornets uniform. But when we go look at that G League, thanks to LiAngelo now, because prior to LiAngelo, I never knew what the hell was going on with the Greensboro Swarm. I never even knew the name of the G League team. But thanks to LiAngelo, eyes got on that G League. And when eyes got on that G League, the only thing we can say, who the fuck is the coach? And then we find out who the coach is, and we're like, well, damn, the guy looks seem to be a pretty fair, smart, intelligent guy. What the hell is happening? Then we go above that and find out that old Mitty has got his hands in a cookie jar. Instead of letting that coach and then say, you know what, survival of the fittest, right? Natural selection, right? Have their own ecosystem, right? And whoever's the better player that's ready to go up is the better player that's ready to go up. But no, Mitty have his fingers on everything, want to micromanage and choose and pick what players they want to showcase to bring up. And doing that, a lot of these guys are just not ready for it. Yep. And at the same damn time, there's players down there that's doing good, but they can't get called up because it ain't your turn.
Yeah.
That's a big problem.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. And I just wanted to throw into that. Behind that, I heard him mention the Bulls. Well, you can see the total difference in development in Simonovic. The Bulls drafted him 2 years ago. We left him in the G League. This year, we feel he's ready. He's on the team. The proper way of doing this, Mergard, is you develop your players in the G League. When they're ready to come up, you bring them up when they are ready. I'm not doubting the fact of your vision and directions they should go in. I just don't see them doing this. I haven't noticed. Now, like I say, I haven't put my finger directly on this team and followed them very close, where I'm pretty quiet about the conversation, but I have seen the team on the floor. And when you have the team that they've been putting on the floor without me seeing these young guys that you're mentioning, I just can't see them. Because unless you're just figuring you get to the trade deadline, get rid of these veterans, and then you just play these young guys regardless if they can't play or not. If that's your vision, then do that. But at least show us a direction, something that I'm real concerned with.
That's the only thing I'm saying. Yeah. So if you're going to deal with the young guys, then develop them properly. And this is the reason why James Bouknight was so furious about that process. Because here you draft me up at this number in the first round, but yet you don't need me, so you're not developing me because you got 12 guards already. You got 12 guards. And I'm just sitting here like, okay, what about me? And that's not how it's supposed to go. How it's actually supposed to go with a franchise like that is survival of the fittest. Natural selection. You guys play these games, play them like they're real NBA games, not Kai Jones dribbling the ball, not Vernon Carey thinks he can throw alley-oops, not none of that type of stuff. You got Grant Willer. He's not even bringing the ball down court. I mean, what is he in your G League for? So either you're going to draft and acquire free agents to win, or you're going to win out of your G League. Bring the best players up, no matter what position they are. Bring that player up who is the best that your eyes can tell. Bring them up. We'll figure it out from there once he get a Charlotte Hornets uniform. I want Scotty Lewis. Not this week. Give me Cameron McGriff. Oh, well, hell. No, forget Cameron McGriff. Let's see what Vernon Carey can do. Oh, wait. Nick Richardson. Oh, you know what I'm saying? I mean, like, come on, for crying out loud. Now, a lot of people would have never known this until LiAngelo got on that team. More eyes got on there, so that means they streaming them games, and people was talking, and then they start to see that this is nothing but scrambled eggs.
Okay, Dex. Could that go back to the sentiment? Dex, could that go back to the sentiment of you talking about them not wanting to go too far in the playoff and really not trying to get ready to be?
That's exactly what it is. It's a money grab. This is a money grab for Jordan, and the NBA telling him, just be quiet, get your bread.
Yeah.
Jordan know how to win, man. Come on. We know he know how to win. Jordan went to bat for Phil Jackson, right? Phil Jackson went to bat for Michael Jordan, right? They know how to win. Mike know how to win. He knows the chemistry of winning.
He ain't trying.
Mike is not a bum. Stop saying that. He's not a bum. He's far from that.
Well, I've been saying over and over that there was a hidden agenda. Something was up because this ain't the way Mike is, and it's starting to show. He can't hide it anymore. Is basically what it is. It's just coming to the forefront. But now, don't get us wrong, Mergard. We understand you are actually saying the right things they supposed to do. It's just that we saying they haven't done it. Is all we saying.
When Kemba Walker left, right? Well, not actually left. Well, he didn't resign, and so they was forced to trade him. They get Rozier and all that type of stuff, right? That's never supposed to happen. I keep telling people this. Kemba Walker was never supposed to leave that team. He left in frustration. There's bad blood between Kemba and the Charlotte Hornets. Yeah, they trying to smooth it over now. He's older. He's on his way out the league. Let him find his rocking chair in Charlotte, and maybe we can put his jersey up on the Raptors or something like that. Yeah, that's now. But at the time, you wasn't doing nothing to facilitate Kemba Walker's desire to win and be amongst the elite players in the NBA. Nothing. That little stuff that you bring over there, that wasn't fulfilling. Everybody know that wasn't fulfilling. But Nicholas Batum or whatever his name is, come on, man. And you give him all that money as a front. Come on, man.
Hey, Dex. I was telling Marvin, I said, ask Dex, do we think that Charlotte been paying it 100 ever since they had Michael Jordan as an owner? I don't think so. I don't think he's been playing it 50-50. I think he's been half-stepping and playing it 50-50. Sorry, Dex. You was talking.
All I can say is this. Michael Jordan is a very competitive mind, right? I saw an interview of Michael Jordan around 8 months ago. It had nothing to do with basketball. It's about cigars and all this type of stuff, right? And he's competitive in that.
Yeah,
the man is competitive in smoking cigars, dude. He was on a podcast with one of the guys that's, very wealthy dude. I think he owns cigars and Cuban cigars or something like that. Some of the most elite premium cigars the world has ever known, right? He's competitive on that. And I'm like looking at this like, wait a minute, man. This ain't right. He's supposed to be in chill mode. So you telling me he has $1 billion or maybe $2 billion venture, and you telling me he's not trying to be competitive? He's not trying to beat out the best of the NBA owners, the oligarchs, the governors? He's not trying to say, I beat all y'all suckers. Now what? I beat y'all on the court. Now I beat y'all off the court.
Dex, if you could go into the workings of them not wanting to make it far in the playoffs.
What?
Well, I'm gonna say this right here. I believe that the Charlotte Hornets, under the reign of Michael Jordan and some of the minority investors, is cool with bringing out the bag, meaning that Charlotte's going to make money. They made money with Kemba, right?
Yep.
But they making more money with LaMelo.
Thank you.
I mean, it's hand over fist. Like, good gracious. Michael said to me, I didn't know this money could come in this fast, right? So you making money hands over fist for LaMelo. You got the kids now. The kids. They ain't being forced. You know how kids sometimes get forced to go to church? Get up and go to church. Get up. I'll whoop your ass if you don't get up and get in that church. Go to Bible study. You know, you kind of forced to do it as a kid. But the Charlotte Hornets kid fan base, maybe back then might have been a little kind of forced to like the team, even though it was other teams more exciting outside of Buzz City. But now with LaMelo, you ain't gotta force the kids. The kids is pushing mom and daddy. Come on, let's go to the game. I don't want to go watch cars run around a lap for 100 miles an hour for 60 laps. I don't want to do that. I want to go see LaMelo. I want to go see some basketball. I want to go see some Airbnb. These are the kids pushing the parents right now. And yet, Miss Kupchak have the nerve to say, we just not that good. We don't see that we're going to be winning anything anytime soon. So, sometimes we just have to pump the brakes on things. Go look at his interviews. Go. Please Google Mitch Kupchak and listen to some of the stuff he comes out of his mouth. That what makes me have the mitigated galls to say, Charlotte is trying to pump their brakes on winning. They don't want to win too fast. Because when you win fast, you got to spend money. And all these contracts are coming up because all these players are going to contribute to winning, right? Because they're on the team, they on the roster,
Who?
huh?
What players? I think they're gonna get rid. I personally think they're gonna get rid of
No,
them,
no,
man.
no. I'm just using this as an example. Not nothing specific with this actual team. Marvin wanted me to go into the generalities, right? So what I'm saying is that
So
when you win, right? When you win, Charlotte haven't won, so you're probably not familiar with it, Murgot. But when you win, the ante goes up for every player on that roster,
Yeah, you
even the
gotta pay
players
them.
on the bench.
You gotta pay them.
You gotta pay them. I mean, the agents. Listen, these agents are alligators out here, right? So if you part of the playoff, you got to pay more, man, when that contract comes up.
And if you don't win in the playoff, you don't get to return the money that you just spend on the player.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
because the NBA have a level of sharing revenue. You have to qualify, and Charlotte barely qualifies every year, spending the least amount of money most times.
Yep.
You feel me?
So it's a business for sure.
You get in that 30-game win bracket, you got a couple $100 million coming at you.
So Marvin, I have the stats for Kyle Jones in the G League last year for you.
Yeah, and if you could look up the also when you get a chance, look up how many games these guys played in the regular season NBA. But give me those stats right quick.
So Kai Jones, he played 24 games. He averaged pretty much 32 minutes, 31.7. He averaged 18 points a game, on 62% shooting from the field. He averaged 11 rebounds and 2 blocks.
Wow, how tall is he?
He's 6'11". He actually grew. He's 6'11"
Wow.
with a 7'3" wingspan.
I didn't know he was that big.
Yeah,
That might be a problem for Charlotte. He might help them win. I don't think they want that. But go ahead.
So that's
I'll say something after he
that was him. So that was him. James Bouknight. They only kept him down there 7 games, and the reason why they kept him down there 7 games because James Bouknight. They got him right here. Excuse me. James Bouknight averaged 22 points a game on 45% shooting from the field, including 6 rebounds, 5 assists, and he averaged a block a game.
Well, they better play those guys this year.
So, and now his 3-point shooting was suspect, but he did show that he can shoot it when he came up, when he got pulled up. When he played in the games where the team had COVID, he only shot 34% from 3 in the G League. But I know he shot a higher percentage from 3 when he got pulled up to the main club.
Let me know when you're done, Margot.
Yeah, before you go any further.
I'm finished. Go ahead.
All right, well, go ahead, Purple.
All I gotta say is, here's my concern. Cody, I think it's Cody that's still on the team. I think that's Cody.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, you need bodies. You got to go into the start of the preseason, I think, with a certain amount of players on your active roster and all that. That I understand. But we're assuming that Cody's going to come into this year playing, I think, the 2 and the 3, which I don't know why he's playing the 3, but I'm going to mind my business. My issue is, do I think Bouknight has enough talent to not even just start over him but get more minutes? Of course. But Charlotte, however, and the way they run things, he's not going to, unless it's absolutely necessary, he's not going to play more minutes than Cody. Then I have a problem with Rozier because you can't switch Rozier to the point. I'd rather Bouknight, because if you doing everything in your power to keep Terry Rozier at the 2, but you won't do that for Bouknight, that's kind of backwards to me. Then I feel that coming into this season that Thor and what's the name and PJ, because since LaMelo's been there, I don't know about prior to, but we talk about Charlotte having a defensive problem as far as, getting rebounds, block shots, all that, giving up points in the paint. PJ is a part of that problem. Him and Thor and maybe, Jones is a 5, but they need to me, be competing. You don't have any competition for the small forward spot because you're lacking, and we all know why. But I'm just trying to figure out, where do you put in these guys so so they could get some time together. Because I think it's horrendous that you're gonna run Book Knight behind LaMelo at the point. I think that's terrible. Like, what are they doing?
I
Well,
mean, but hold on. Let me answer a question. But I get your concern. But with Book Knight is going to have to learn how to run some point guard anyway. And it's not because of the fact that LaMelo's on the court. It's the fact that even if LaMelo is on the court, he has to be a secondary ball handler sometimes. So he can make LaMelo sometimes an off guard so that LaMelo can either spot up, shoot, or get a basically when he does a driving kick to LaMelo. LaMelo can catch a player that may be off guard and basically drive to the lane. So you have to make him a secondary guard just in case. So he's going to have to play some point. Now, is that going to be his? I don't think that should be his primary, but he's going to have to play some point sometime. The same thing that Terry had to do last season. He had to play some point sometime. It's cool on certain possessions, but I think basically for a long term, I don't think that's going to happen. I think, of course, long term, they're going to have LaMelo in that position. But as far as basically the big man go, Cody Martin to me, basically, he's going to get his minutes. For one, he earned his minutes. He's going to go out there. He's going to guard. See, the thing is, though, they don't have nobody else on the team that can go out there to go guard these wings. Cody Martin is that guy. He's just going to go out there and going to guard the wings. So he's going to get minutes just because of that. Because he's a willing competitor, including he's 6'7" with a long wingspan.
Who's 6'7"?
Cody Martin, 6'6", 6'7".
I thought they said he was 6'5".
No, he's 6'6",
I think he's more
6'5". Nah, last time I checked, he was 6'6", 6'7".
I know.
I can look it up right now.
But regardless of that, he's still I think he's like 6'5", but he's just a tenacious defender, and he's known to be a Hall of Fame crash dummy.
Dex, that's disrespect. But see what you're saying. Until let's say Book Knight, hopefully they give him more than 15 minutes. But let's just say 15 minutes. You know, he's coming in for LaMelo, obviously, and sometimes for Rozier, right? I don't like nothing about a lineup possibly being on the floor.
Yeah, they got him listed at 6'6".
Oh, okay, my fault. But I don't like nothing about a lineup of Book Knight at the point, Terry Rozier at the 2, and Martin out there at the 3. I think that's terrible.
Nah,
but he's not a starter though. Martin's not the starter.
Jordan Hayward's
I didn't say he was.
3.
That's the bench.
Oh, you okay? I got you.
Well, I don't know who their point guard is going to be, so it's probably going to be Book Knight. I don't know who's going to play. I don't know who's going to play the 2. They probably just have Book Knight get in a 3-guard rotation with Book Knight, Terry, and LaMelo. So they can probably get in 3-guard rotation and a substitute or they have a 4-guard rotation. Because Cody can slide into that 2 as well, where they have a 4-guard rotation with Martin, Book Knight, and
you think
Cody.
Is he going to force Book Knight to play point guard?
Yes, because on their depth chart,
for temporary purposes, yeah, he can. For temporary purposes, he can play.
And that's the issue. That's the biggest issue I have. I think that's ridiculous because you allow Terry Rozier to just get away with murder. Devontae Graham played point guard. Then you got LaMelo, of course. Come on, man.
But we have to realize that he was doing all of that with James Borrego. It's going to be different with Steve Clifford.
Oh, it's going to be big difference, Steve Clifford.
It's going to be different. I told you that right there. Steve Clifford doesn't tolerate. That's the reason why they got Steve Clifford. He doesn't tolerate some of the things that James Borrego does. James Borrego, I'm sorry, he's soft. He's not going to talk to these players. He's not going to demand more out of these players.
He lost the locker room.
Coach. He's a very soft coach. They ran right over him. That's not
He definitely lost the locker room. I can tell you that much.
Yeah, he did. And that's not going to be the same for Steve Clifford.
Not Murgaard. Yeah, but with that being said, Murgaard, if you guys were quite finished with Charlotte, I guess we can go on about them. But I did want to go on with this segment. And the reason I like to go on with it is because this team, I had a question for you guys. the team that we was going to do tonight was the Utah Jazz, and I wanted to ask the question before I got into them. I wanted to ask the question before I got into them. Is this the right way to rebuild a team? Because we talking about Charlotte in a rebuild mode, and we looking at Danny Ainge in the process of doing the same thing. Is Danny Ainge using the blueprint properly?
Wait, Marvin.
It's two different scenarios, Marvin.
Yes, it is. So is.
Because Marvin, because you can't compare.
But still, all right. But wait a minute. Before you guys go off, let me say this. Hold on, I'm gonna let you go, but let me say this. We talking about a rebuild, and that doesn't go one way or the other. So now the way you go about doing it is the way that your organization does. So that's the reason I put it in that context. But go ahead, Margot.
In a sense, yes, it is. But at the same time, Charlotte doesn't have the luxury of a Utah did to acquire all those assets.
Yes.
To acquire all those assets because they don't have players that teams are just going to really go out and sought out for. Rudy Gobert was a hot commodity. Donovan Mitchell is a hot commodity.
Yep.
Not everyone's kicking over the door to go get a Gordon Hayward. Now everyone's kicking over the door to go get a PJ Washington or a Terry Rozier.
Well, that's what, and I was going to get to that.
Folks are not kicking over the door to go after those players right now. You know, they're
Charlotte overvalue those players. That's it.
Yeah.
Kind of like the Knicks.
In a sense, basically, if those players were available, they basically would be bench players coming off the bench. Gordon Hayward right now, his career, he's a bench player. He making start on base. He making start on a very low tier team, but he's a bench player, man.
But Murdoch, those players was available, and Charlotte still have them.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, they got to keep. They got to. It's the sense of basically somebody got to get the money.
They're going to end up with them. So I did want to say this. Hold on.
The money, so
Terry a little bit, but that's about it.
Yeah. So, and with that being said, I did want to say this. Let's move off of Charlotte, guys, and let's go on to Utah. And the reason I wanted to bring up Utah because this is a very interesting team, and it's interesting the way Danny Ainge is doing this. I'm going to call off some players because I know it might be kind of shady to everybody's mind on who's actually on this roster now. All right, before I even call them off, if anybody on the panel can tell me who would think would be their starting five right now, I'll probably give you $100. I said probably too. I said probably.
It'd probably be, as far as right now, it'd probably be Mike Conley. What's up, boy? Obaji.
Jordan.
Obaji.
You think Obaji's going to start? You think Obaji's going to start?
What about Jordan Clarkson?
That boy good. But it probably ended, well, I forgot about Jordan, but it'd probably be Jordan Clarkson, Boban Bogdanovic. It'd probably be at center. It'd probably be that boy they got from that trade. And then from the trade from Minnesota, and then at the 4, it'll probably be Vanderbilt. No. Take it back.
Yeah.
It's gonna be Mike Conley, Malik Beasley, then Boban Bogdanovic, then basically probably Vanderbilt, then basically that boy they got from Minnesota in the trade.
All right, so obviously you don't think Colin Sexton is a starter.
Oh God, man, I forgot they had Colin Sexton, man.
Because see, that's why I said I didn't think you. All right, you don't have to go no further. That's a kind of tough one because they just got players in, so it's hard for anybody to know they're starting. Yeah, so it's hard for anybody to say they're starting lineup. So what I wanted to say was this: they also have Laurie Marketing too. So I'm just going to read off a couple of players on their team. I'm going to start at the bottom. Hassan Whiteside, Jalen, Jared Vanderbilt. Xavier Sneed, Colin Sexton, Laurie Marketing, Walker Kessler. Now I forgot about it. I had him too. Yeah. I don't know who this guy is. Johnny Jujang, Stanley Johnson. We forgot about Taylor
Johnny Jujang. Yeah, he's from UCLA.
Yeah, dark skinned brother for Africa. He
they got Taylor Horton. They also have Taylor Horton Tucker, Rudy Gay, Mike Conley, Jordan Clarkson, James Butler, Leonardo Bogdanovich, Mikal Beasley, Alexander Walker, So they got some players on this team, guys.
Yeah, they got a Abachi too from Kansas.
Yeah,
That
and
boy good.
Obachi. Now,
That boy
I don't
good.
want to get deep into Utah because we still don't know who they're going to move. We all in the sentiment that they're still going to move some of these
I
players.
know who they gonna move.
Man,
Yeah.
I wish. Man,
Conley
listen,
going to the Pelicans.
Malik Beasley could come to. Malik Beasley need to go to Charlotte. That's who need to go.
But why would you do that?
Man.
You got Book Night that need minutes.
Man, listen, man. I just like Malik Beasley, man.
I mean,
Okay.
I do too, but.
And I wanted to say
your
this
point. I
before-
get your point though, but I like Malik Beasley.
And I wanted to throw this little tidbit in before we go any further. I know it's not going to happen, but I'm going to blow Unstoppable's mind. The Utah Jazz has Laurie Marketing. Now you just mentioned them getting. Me and Unstoppable was kind of on the same page, feeling that the Bulls should have never got rid of him. Do anybody on this panel feel the Bulls should get him back?
Hell no.
If they want to.
No.
You don't
Okay,
really
now
change
Dex,
nothing really.
why would? All right, hold on. Let me ask Dex this question. Dex, why wouldn't you want Laurie on that team?
You're a loser.
Back on that team, huh?
Wow, Dix, that's hard.
You're a loser. He ain't never won nothing. He don't know what it feels like.
Well,
You
hell,
need
ain't
somebody
nobody
like-
on the Bulls
So
never won
hold
nothing
on.
until
Now, Marvin, I'll go a little bit deeper for you for Dex because Dex is just going to be I'll go deeper.
yeah, he kind of
Laurie
be rude.
Marketing,
I'm gonna be cruel.
although Laurie Marketing does provide 3-point shooting, he's not a great rebounder for his size. He doesn't play no look at defense, which basically at that 4 spot we need defense. I'm sorry, Marvin, he don't cut it. Number 2,
Thank you.
number 3, his lack of effort. He doesn't play hard.
Well,
Number 4. Hold on, Mark. I'm not done yet. Number 4, basically, is also his attitude. His attitude. His attitude. He thinks basically, for example, when he was going into free agency, and the Bulls basically gave him a qualifier offer, he refused it because of the simple fact that he wanted more money. When he didn't deserve that money because he didn't put any work for no more money.
The man's a 7-foot surfer.
Yeah, and I did want to say
why
this.
should the Bulls go after that type of player when you can find somebody that can shoot
need
threes,
a
play defense, and can be a better rim protector than him for cheaper?
Well, this is what I was going to say, and I'm gonna rebuttal that with this, because I think he feels lost right now. I think he feels a little afraid because he's being moved around. I think and I'm saying that to say this,
Man, that's part
Dex.
of the
I'm saying
league,
it to
man.
say this. I'm just saying he thought he was all of that. He's swarping down. He's gonna test the market. He's gonna get paid. He did get paid from Charlotte.
He did get paid. He did get paid.
Bulls were not going to pay him that money. So now with Cleveland moving him, does he feel like, hey, man, am I not doing enough? Meaning this.
He needs to be a Clipper.
Will he try to ball out now? Would he try to ball out now because he knows he's on the verge of being labeled as a nobody? I'm not saying the Bulls want him. I just did this for Unstoppable because he was talking about Montrezl Harrell coming to the Bulls.
Laurie Marketing is a 7-foot surfer. He needs to be a Clipper, so in his off time in the summer, he can be at Venice Beach or Santa Monica.
I believe that. But with me naming these players on Utah, I'm going to continue on about the Jazz, guys. With me naming these players on the Utah Jazz and the shrewd operator in Danny Ainge running the show. Question I have for each and one of you guys, one at a time. Ted, if you're in the chat, come on the panel because I need you on that board. We're gonna do the Bulls tonight. To every one of you guys on the panel.
I gotta take this
Question
out.
I have one at a time, and I'll start with you, Purple Baby. Do you see Utah? We got an echo. Okay, it's gone. Do you see Utah, Purple Baby, doing the right thing, building the right way? And if you do, give me a timeline on when you think they'll be kind of coming back up in the NBA.
First of all, I would like to say I know Danny Ainge don't want to, but I think he's gonna bless the Lakers once again. Because I heard that Beasley has to be on the team for I think 60 more days or whatever in order for him to be traded again. So he's gonna be blessing some teams. He might even bless Boston, with some players. He's gonna do everything to ensure he can get at least the top 5 pick, and he's gonna go from there. And it's probably gonna take him.
He want Victor.
Okay.
He's in a blessing mood. some teams are going to get blessed this season.
Wow. Anything else before I go to another one of the other guys?
Like I said, I don't know, because see, he got some guard issues. I'm only person that I'm kind of following from that team to see where they go is Clarkson, to see where he's gonna put Clarkson in at, But he's in a giving mood this season. People are gonna have a good Christmas.
Okay, and with that being said from you, Purple Baby, what is your projection of them? When do you think they can become halfway decent in the NBA?
5 years from now.
5? Damn. Okay. All right, Murgard, I'm coming to you next. Not the same question. My question to you is on the Utah Jazz is this. Because of your just recent comments, I'm going to direct this question towards Lauri Markkanen on the Utah Jazz. And my question to you is this. With the recent trade sending Donovan Mitchell over to Cleveland, we all know Lauri Markkanen and Colin Sexton and draft picks came on to the Utah Jazz. My question to you is this. Do you see Lauri Markkanen being a piece that they can keep? And if not, where is a good place for Lauri Markkanen to go?
I don't think he's going to be a long-term fit, and he won't fit the timeline. I think they're looking to get younger. I think they're looking to acquire assets similar to the OKC Thunder. So I think basically, as soon as this season is up, he's probably going to be on the move again. So I wouldn't.
And where do you think is a good destination for him? Because I wanted to hear this because of your feelings on
it. As far as him, I mean, he can go to a place that I think he'd go to a place like
Orlando.
Nah, he don't fit Orlando. I think he needs to go to a team that's ready to win, like a Clippers, a Lakers, a team like Milwaukee, a place that's ready to win. He could go to the Minnesota Timberwolves. That'd be a good place for him to go, to come off the bench and serve as a stretch four, come off the bench. So he needs to go to a place like that. Another good place for him to go will be the Atlanta Hawks. Go to Miami. So he needs to go to places like that where he can be a stretch four off the bench. Doesn't have to play much defense. Just come in, stretch the floor, play as hard as he can on defense. I think the thing what he's got to do is he's going to have to play, he's going to have to be a 40% shooter from the three, and he's going to have to play his heart out on defense as much as he can if he wants to stay in the NBA. That's his role now.
Okay. All right, Dex, are you still there? Dexter, did he leave? He must did. I'm sorry?
I'm still there if you see that.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm on 4 screens, so I can't see what's on there. All right, Dex. My question to you is in the same sense of same directed towards the Utah Jazz, but it's a different question, as you probably would have guessed. My question to you is going to be a tough one. It's a 2-part question, Dex. I got two players on this team that I'm concerned about, and I want to hear your thoughts on them. First player being a former player of yours, Taylor Horton Tucker. Do you think he's in the plans for Utah? And do you think this was just a move Danny Ainge made just temporarily? And if he's in the plans, what kind of points do you think Horton can average over there at Utah?
He got backs. The kind of backs that make you dribble the ball slow. The kind of backs that make you think slow. The kind of backs that make you listen. The man is overweight. He's full of hot dogs. He got that wonderful house down in Calabasas. The Lakers fed him well. Both of his cheeks look like basketballs right now. I think Tatum Horton Tucker is talented, but he overstuffed himself with his short-term success. And that right there, if he's not careful, he'll be bounced right out of the league, and that house will be up for foreclosure. So THT got to damn sure get his butt back in shape, literally.
Okay. Well, I'm not going to address the question of Mike Conley to you because you're already in the sentiment that he's going to end up in New Orleans. So I did want to ask you about Jordan Clarkson and Bogdanovich. Do you think both of these players will be on this team? And if you
Yeah,
do not, where's your
Well,
destination for these two?
well,
then
Bogdanovich is being explored by the Lakers, and I think he's welcoming that conversation. So that's another episode in itself. He might be there during training camp, or he might get there by trade deadline. But nevertheless, that's where his eyes is headed. Venice Beach, baby. Bogdanovich, they need it. He's a stretch, and he's going to open up the floor for the rest of the Lakers, as well as Lonnie Walker. But the other question was Jordan Clarkson. Now,
Yes.
if I was Utah, I would keep Jordan Clarkson. And the reason why I keep Jordan Clarkson, because he's only, 1 year older than Lonzo. Laurie Markkinen and Lonzo is about the same age.
no, he
So,
ain't. Clarkson is 30.
what?
Yes.
Yeah,
What?
yeah,
Oh,
Jordan
he just
Clark.
came out a year before.
Nah, that was
Damn,
the
I
one
didn't
that
know
came
he was
out a
that
year
old.
before. The one that
I
came
didn't
out a
know he
year
was
before,
that
I think,
old.
was
I
was
thought that was a
D'Angelo
youngster.
Russell. I think the one that came out a year or two before was D'Angelo Russell.
I damn sure didn't think he was that old.
Yeah, he's 30.
I thought Jordan Clarkson came out a year before Lonzo.
Nah,
No.
Jordan Clarkson is 30 years old, man.
Well,
Less.
maybe he stayed in college longer. That's probably what it was.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nah, man, Jordan Clarkson got drafted in
I
2014.
never looked at
Huh?
Yeah, man,
Man,
he got
Where the hell
drafted.
was
man,
he
I
at?
thought he was young.
Yeah, man, he got drafted, but he got drafted in the second round, a 46th pick by the Lakers.
Yeah, but damn, he must have came to prominence a year before Lonzo got there then. Because I sure don't remember that kid.
Yeah, man,
All
that
right.
man was
So with
gone.
that being said, so you think
I
they should
think he
keep him?
should.
So you're not gonna even
Yeah, I think they should
you're
keep
not gonna
him.
give me
I
a
think Jordan Clarkson should stay at Utah Jazz.
He
Nah, they
would.
Or
probably
if he
gonna
want,
move him.
yeah, if he wants to get a ring or something, that's different. But as far as being a mentorship, I mean, he's a cool dude. I think he's a cool dude. He could stay there.
I mean, he could,
Okay.
but I like him. I like him better going to a championship team, like back to the Lakers, be a spark plug off the bench. He's not horrible on defense. He's all right when you got
I
a
don't
good
think
system
LeBron
around him.
likes his game.
Yeah, I
I mean,
don't think so either.
I mean, hey, he'll be a good fit for the Clippers. A good fit for somebody that need a bench scorer, somebody to score off the bench.
But the Clippers got Reggie Jackson, so they don't need no Jordan Clarkson.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Okay. All right. So with that being said, excuse me. With that being said, Murgard and Dex, because I did ask Purple Baby this, what and when, to both of you guys, when do you guys think they will be kind of, relevant in the NBA? And can they get back to relevancy in the NBA? That's a question to both of
about
you.
the Utah Jazz?
Yeah.
I mean, the Utah Jazz probably won't be
I'm with
relevant
Purple Baby.
Utah Jazz probably won't be relevant into the next 4 or 5 years, man.
Yeah, I'm on that timeline.
They faded off into the sunset. They in rebuild mode. Personally, me personally, I think they're tanking to go after that Victor guy. So because the draft supposed to be loaded this year, so they're looking. It's going to be a battle. Me personally, it's going to be a battle between, because you notice the Spurs only tank when it's a generational big man. They did the same thing for Tim Duncan. Same thing for David Robinson. So,
is that true that the Spurs? But is that true that
I don't know if that's the case, because you got the lottery now, and there's no guarantee that you'll get that number one ball.
Man,
you know what I mean? How many times New York?
Spurs every time.
Murgard, how many times New York had the most balls in the lottery and hit the 10th?
Pause.
I mean, pause. Yeah, pause. But
man,
yeah, I mean,
but you gotta realize that. But Dex, you have to realize that the Knicks are just one of those unlucky teams. They just have no luck for them. The Spurs, I don't know what it is. They always get lucky. Or
I know, but you can't just really tank no more.
I mean,
you follow what I'm saying?
You're not supposed to, Dex. You're not supposed to.
They're not supposed to, but that's what they're going to do. They're going to put out the worst roster. The same thing with the Spurs.
I just believe that Utah spent a lot of money in the last 7 years, and I just believe that them taking a step backwards as far as their roster, not having anybody that they just got to pay an exorbitant amount to for years to come. They can make up some of the ground financially that they probably lost not making the conference finals or the NBA finals or even winning a championship, because they had a pretty tough roster, and there was a very well organized team, and in season they have been the best team in a couple of years running. But once it got to the extended season, of course, Utah fell on their face. It cost them a lot of money because those extra playoff games, they don't fill the stadium. And see, what a lot of people fail to realize, if you do realize, I'm just going to reiterate it for you. And if you don't, I'm going to just put you up on game. No matter if you sell out your stadium, Utah is the type of team that's going to sell out their stadium. The fans support them. You got 41 games. That's it. 41 games to do that. And if Utah can maintain selling out their stadium for 41 games, but having a roster fill of maybe 112 million, and still sell out your games at 41 games and have a roster fill of 280 million, I'll take the 120 million. Wouldn't you? For at least a couple of years before the fans start grumbling.
Yeah.
Because you can always sell a rebuild. And fans love that. Fans love to root from the bottom and get to the top. You follow what I'm saying? A lot, especially in those areas. Those fans love coming back, being the underdog and upsetting Boston Celtics, upsetting the Lakers during the season, upsetting the Golden States during the season, upsetting the Clippers, and teams like that during the season, the Suns during the season. That's fun for them. That's big.
Say that correctly. Some teams like that, because teams like the Lakers and the Bulls and the Knicks. And
Marvin, why would you interrupt me when I already said some teams?
Yeah. Okay. All right. Go ahead.
Oh, CW said fans don't like rebuilds. Yeah, fans like Brooklyn, of course not. But teams that never won it but got close, they don't mind bagging back because they understand that, man, we playing these players and they still not beating the better teams. So let's get rid of those players and let's start it over. And see, the fun is in the chase. A lot of times before you get the girl, a lot of the fun is just in the chase. Once you get her, sometimes you don't act the same no more. You might not be as excited, because that's where the fun was, in the chase. And in this financial world where all these NBA franchises getting hundreds of millions of dollars, they can take a step back for 2 years and reap some of the money that they already spent when they had the Goberts, when they had the Corey Brewers, when they had the Donovan Mitchells and players of that ilk. Even the Favors, Favors got a couple of good contracts as a Utah Jazz. So now the time to back up, because there ain't nobody get the money to, because ain't nobody there.
Yeah.
They could recoup.
Okay. All right. So I guess we can move off of Utah. And with the next team I have, there's only two left, which is Indiana and Chicago. I wanted to go to Indiana next because I was waiting on Talented and Unstoppable to show up, because they wanted to get in that Chicago sweepstakes here, but I don't know if they will. But we'll continue on to Indiana. And I want to start with you, Murgard. Are you still there?
I'm still here.
Yeah, Purple Baby, I'm going to go to you last on this one. I'm going to go to Murgard, then Dex. And my question to you on the Indiana Pacers, Murgard. Yeah. And we all know Indiana has a couple of players that's been kind of shopped around. Nobody's really moved just yet, including Buddy Hield and Miles Turner. And with that being, I wanted to address those two players and address them like this to you. With Indiana being in a state of flux of what they are right now, where is Miles Turner's in ends and where is Buddy Hield in their plans? And if you think they're going to be moved, where's a good home for them?
Well, we're about to get up out of here. We're going to pick this up tomorrow.
Oh.
All right.
All right.
Love. Flight Sports TV, man. That's my dude. I rolls with him.
You heard what the man said. It's Flight Sports TV.